He acknowledged the messages could not be displayed during the hearing due to their sensitive nature, including the need to protect the identities of children mentioned in the chats. But evidence leader Matlape Sello says what stood out was Khan's frequent greeting to Johnson, often starting his messages with the words, "Hey, gorgeous."
You have a personal and deeper relationship with General Khan. Would you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am. I considered him a very good friend.
A very good friend. I referenced how you address each other, either calling each other gorgeous, you tell each other how much you miss each other, and that's yes, it's a very deep and personal one.
Yes.
And a very close one.
A new witness is expected to take the stand today. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
Political parties have thrown the names of advocates Sesi Baloyi and Griffiths Madonsela into the pool of candidates to be considered to lead evidence in President Cyril Ramaphosa's impeachment inquiry. Baloyi is currently part of the Madlanga Commission probing police corruption, while Madonsela recently defended Eastern Cape Judge President Selbin Benenge in his misconduct trial, which has led to the recommendation of his impeachment. But a protracted meeting of the committee yesterday failed to debate the new nominations as the gathering was consumed by taking a decision to appeal last week's court ruling that has put the brakes on oral evidence being heard. Lindsay Dentlinker reports.
After the committee last week felt that a shortlist of 4 candidates was not enough for consideration, political parties were invited to make further suggestions as to who to recommend to Parliament to serve as evidence leader for the Section 89 inquiry. The EFF, MK Party and UAT have all nominated Griffiths Madonsela from the Durban Bar for the role. The IFP, meanwhile, has suggested Sesi Baloyi and Carol Steinberg. The Freedom Front Plus has added Yanni Libber, and the ATM has put forward the name of Tiny Saboko. MKP parliamentary leader John Hlophe has suggested 2 evidence leaders be considered for this inquiry. Meanwhile, the ANC's Thola Ngola questioned whether it was prudent to appoint an evidence leader during this period of legal limbo.
Was it will be a fruitless expenditure if we are to spend too much on the work of the evidence leader, and at the tail end, the report is reviewed successfully.
The committee has deferred the decision to a meeting next week. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The Johannesburg High Court has upheld a magistrate's decision to refuse bail to self-proclaimed political fixer Brian Mokhotsi. The ruling outlines that Mokhotsi failed to place any genuine new facts before the court to justify his release pending trial. Mokhotsi is facing 5 charges linked to an incident that took place in November last year where he allegedly staged an assassination attempt on his own life. He faces charges including unlawful possession of a firearm, among other charges. He was denied by the Magistrates Court after he approved 3 unverifiable residential addresses. Demakatso Leshuru has more.
Brian Mokhotsi will remain behind bars pending the outcome of his trial after failing to persuade 2 courts that his release would be in the interest of justice. After his initial bail bid was dismissed in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court, Mokhotsi launched a second application claiming there were new facts to support his release. That application was also dismissed. Last week, he appealed to the Johannesburg High Court, but the court found that the evidence he relied on did not amount to new facts. In his judgment, the court held that the application merely revisited issues that had already been considered and rejected during the original bail court. The High Court further found that there was no misapplication of the law by the magistrate and that there was no basis to interfere with the lower court's decision. Mokhotsi has also been accused of attempting to bribe the investigating officer handling the matter. Demakatso Leshuru, Eyewitness News.
And the death toll in Japan's earthquake has risen to 28. The government says this is a revised toll 2 days after the 7.1 magnitude tremor. Japan is reeling as emergency services work through the rubble of a mall and a paper factory in southwestern Kyushu Island. The region faced more than 100 aftershocks yesterday as the Japan Meteorological Agency warns residents of more to come in the following days. Gold is trading at $4,054.92 an ounce. The rand is at 16.67 to the dollar, 22.25 to the pound, 19.09 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $89.46 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in Boysons along the Mike 1 North approaching Crown Interchange. There's also queuing traffic reported in the city of Tshwane along the N1 South between the N4 exit and Sefako Makgato. That's due to roadworks there.
And in your sport, Chad Leclerc is now the most decorated Commonwealth Games athlete of all time after winning bronze in the relays last night. Team South Africa swimmers adding 6 more medals to the total, including gold for Peter Kutzer and Christian Sadi. And FIFA has opened disciplinary proceedings against Argentina for the players' actions during the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg, starting at 6 degrees, peaking at 20, Pretoria 8 and 23, Vereniging 8 as well, and a high of 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Former IDEC head Andrea Johnson has again been questioned about the true nature of her relationship with Crime Intelligence Deputy Head Feroz Khan.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock, welcome to our program. It is Thursday, the 30th of July, the year of our Lord 2026. Welcome to the program. Motorists are being warned of icy snow and flooding in the Eastern Cape and KZN. If you're planning to travel, perhaps to your rural or ancestral home, or even just on a holiday, beware. We'll be speaking to the Road Traffic Management System spokesperson who's going to be talking to us about that happening this first hour of the show, really. Road Traffic Management Corporation, that's what I meant to say. The Road Traffic Management Corporation, not system. What am I talking about? But severe inclement weather warnings there. Our big interview is about the IEC, as, of course, momentum gathers apace as we run towards the finish line of the 2026 local government elections. We've got to make sure as many as possible have their I's dotted, their T's crossed. We'll speak to the General Manager of Electoral Matters at the IEC. And I'm so pleased to tell you, just before 9, we are talking to the singer, songwriter, and performer, Male.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 6, as always, of course, I'm with colleagues in the studio, Amo and Muteo, and we start the show usually with a shout out. This is a question to illustrate something we want to talk to you about and tell you about that is in the news this morning. And today's a bit of a cute one. I want to know from you too, Muteo and Amo, is there a food product, right? A food product. So don't give me like a generic thing like rice or bread or something of that sort. I mean, a particular product, right? Maybe even a brand. You love this thing dearly. It evokes all sorts of wonderful memories from your childhood, from an earlier part of your life. And it's just good feelings and goosies all around. But you don't buy it that much. You don't eat it that much, that often. But when you come across it, you're happy to, but you don't go out of your way to buy it. And if it were to no longer be available, you'd be sore. You'd be a little sore that, oh my gosh, what do you mean that's been discontinued? Which, of course, is part of the whole thing, because if you're not buying it, who else must be buying it, right? Is there a product that you'd be sore to lose?
For me, it would be condensed milk. I haven't bought it in years. But as a child, I mean, you can imagine all the things I got up to trying to get that sweetened milk, right? So recently, we had a function at home and somebody was using it for dessert. I was like, I have to have at least a teaspoon of it.
Oh, no, at your ripe old age. Try baking, my friend. You have all sorts of reasons to use condensed milk. Amo?
For me, it has to be Tinkies. You know, it's this sponge cake wrapped in this beautiful, small, yellowish, purplish wrapper. It is the most beautiful, soft delicate treat you can ever find in the store, right? My mother used to buy it for us when we would go on school trips or, excursions and what have you. And once in a while, just for like a little treat after supper, right? And I don't buy it for my kids. I must be very honest with you because we're trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I don't buy it that much either for myself. But when I do get it, when I do buy it, it takes me home.
It takes you home to your childhood.
Yeah.
I might already be there because as you guys are talking, I'm thinking of the product that I would miss. I haven't seen it, now that I think about it, in years. I don't even know if it's still being sold. The sweetie pie. Do you remember the sweetie pie? That little dome chocolate.
Yes, I think it's
with a
still
little
being
white
sold.
fluffiness inside.
Yeah.
It was called a sweetie pie.
It's still there.
I haven't seen those in years. And I clearly haven't bought it in years, thank goodness. I want to know from you on 072-702-1702. Send us a WhatsApp voice note. Is there a food product? It brings back all sorts of mushy, fond memories from your childhood or an earlier part of your life. And if it were discontinued, you'd be sore. You'd be sad to see it go, but you're not buying it, so who else must buy it? Let's have a bit of fun with that on a Thursday.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Well, you just heard now in Eyewitness News, the former IDEC head, Andrea Johnson. I mean, we thought this thing couldn't get more dramatic, right? You remember, of course, the day before yesterday, she had asked the commission that whatever testimony would be needed from her yesterday, could they please be done round about that first tea break in the morning. And of course, what was important to her, as she explained it, was that she needed to go to IDEC and clear her desk. Never mind that we're spending these hundreds of millions or whatever it may be to get this information about some of the most critical matters relating to our criminal justice system. She says, just hurry it up along because, my desk, I need to go clear my desk. This was, of course, the same person who'd been asked for documents and she'd promised to deliver said documents. And when they were being asked from her, she said, oh, but I've resigned now. You see, I don't have access to those documents. But let's hurry up my testimony along because I've got to go clear my desk. Well, yesterday, how explosive did things get? Including, of course, questions around how and why different senior police officials were being linked to this appointment of Brigadier Dineo Mukweli. Remember, we spoke about that a little bit last week. So let's bring you up to speed with what happened. Have a listen.
The whole point of an arrest is to make sure that a person appears in court. Here, on your own words in the ad hoc committee, you say there was no risk that they would run off. Colonel Padachi accepts that you knew their addresses, you knew where to find them. Why does Advocate Johnson request an arrest and that these people should be arrested?
I know that at the time, even though it was not immediately in that time, that we had a lot of debates and there were criticisms where we invited persons to hand themselves over. And we were seen to be selective when we asked people to hand themselves over. When we got the warrants of arrest, it was a method to secure their attendance. However, the manner in which their attendance was secured, the investigators called the different suspects, asked where they were, asked if they would hand themselves over, how much time they needed, told them where to come. The process didn't seek to embarrass anyone.
Right. These are senior police officials. You've got some investigations. You've got a case against them. Why all the fanfare of an arrest? Because what does an arrest mean? An arrest means we want you to appear in court. So we want to make sure that when you are needed in court, you will be there. So we will now take you in and arrest you. There was no reason you didn't think these people would have refused. Why arrest them if you didn't seek to embarrass them? This is, of course, Commissioner Sesi Baloyi, who, as you heard in Eyewitness News, is now one of the names being put forward by parliamentarians as possibly a possible evidence leader in the impeachment case or in the impeachment proceedings against the president. She would have some tough questions to ask, I bet you. Have a listen to more of what she had to ask Andrea Johnson.
It did, because with another witness previously, there were pictures that were circulated of General Khumalo in handcuffs. And in fact, the very fact itself of an arrest is traumatic for any person. So if you accept that as a matter of law and fact, there was no compelling reason to arrest these people, if you accept that, then you must accept that it was a misuse of the power and discretion to arrest, because its sole purpose is to bring a person to court. And if you have other ways of bringing them to court, that must be the default. So you, in fact, concede in your long explanation that that power was used for a purpose that had nothing to do with ensuring that these people do come to court.
I hear Commissioner Baloy's explanation. And I'm saying that is the route we followed.
Did they appear in
your
court?
Argument that it was not, there are less intrusive means.
Yes,
that
and that
should
and
have
that,
been used.
Yes, and that it was an abuse of that process that's available to you.
I'm not taking it further than that.
You accept that?
I accept it.
What game was she playing at? I mean, this seems now to have been a targeted campaign against these individuals, to embarrass them, to humiliate them, to besmirch their reputations. This wasn't just angaz and incompetence. Yeah, ne?
Let's walk the talk.
702.
17 after 6, Mateo Kharipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, this morning I'd want to know from you and the 702 landers, if you could hire consultants for your own life and family, which part of your life would you want them to improve? Is it the time you spend together? Maybe they could help with your finances, or maybe help you be more social because you just work too hard.
All the above.
Even social?
Yeah. Yeah. I have social anxiety issues, and I don't go to everything that I'm invited to. And navigating certain spaces is challenging. So, yeah, all the above.
What would it be for you, Amu?
Definitely finances, particularly on investment for my kids and on stuff that would be beneficial for them and not necessarily me and my husband. So definitely finances.
She's such a mother, hey?
Right?
Such a mommy.
702.
Weather.
What conditions can you expect on this Thursday? Partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Temperatures a little higher than yesterday. Joburg maxing at 20 degrees. Johannesburg in Pretoria will be 23, 21 in Vereeniging. Clear skies for Cape Town. Maximum of 22 degrees. Bombela peaks at 18. Mahikeng 23. Bloemfontein, your high there is 17. Durban cloudy with some isolated showers and rain. A maximum of 20 degrees. 18 for Gqeberha and Kimberley. 17 degrees for East London.
EWN traffic.
First look at the roads then. 19 after 6. Amma, what are you seeing?
Well, Bongani, if you're traveling in Waterfall, we've got delays on Pretoria Main Road approaching the Baku Bridge. This is due to roadworks that are taking place along this route. There's also roadworks causing delays already on the N3 North approaching the Kilulis interchange. While traveling in Sharon Lee, please be on the lookout for delays on Malibongwe Drive approaching President Fouché Drive. We'll have more updates coming up, but if you see anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Hey, Bongs and team. I think for me that food item is Milo. It really does take me back. My dad used to buy us Milo, as part of groceries at home. And he passed on when I was 12. And I don't think even in my adulthood I've ever bought Milo. Yeah, its name is on the road.
Good morning, Bongs and the team. There's this thing called mabele. So you can use it to make porridge and also that sour pap. Hi, the way my grandmother used to serve us that thing so much. I don't even want to see it. Yes, I can make it. And if it was to be discontinued, it wouldn't sit well with me. But Geshap. Vusi, Coltonville.
Good morning, Bongs and Amo and Moteo. I think that product, man, sometimes I use this, that milk called Clean, Clean, man. That milk, I've eaten it maybe when I was 7 years old. So now I can see it on the shelf. I just pass, I said, Clean milk. Man. It's Clean milk, man, yeah, for me. No, it's that product. It's not here. I'm in Tembisa, man.
Yeah, Mateo. Me and my dad, we used to have one can of condensed milk in the fridge. We punched 2 holes, one on this side, one on the other side, and every now and again we'll just go into the fridge, take a little sip. Lovely. That takes me back. And Bongani, the sweetie pie, the company that made them, buyers, they just went under recently. So I'm afraid if you haven't bought it, you're not going to get it. From Rustenburg.
Oh man, bad news, huh? Bad news there. Milo, I absolutely love Milo. I think it was probably one of the ways my mother showed us affection. She made the best Milo growing up. If you were sick, I'm the typical man flu guy. When I'm sick, I need all the attention in all the world. I mean, even the lightest touch with a feather would cause howls of pain, right? And shrieks of torture. But Milo makes it all go away for me. And my kids don't really like it that much.
So you've tried to introduce it and...
Jonga, with my best version of my mother's Milo.
Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't work. They're hot chocolate people. Mabele, so that's not going to go anywhere because that's sorghum essentially, right? I mean, that's what we make ding from. But it reminded me of Maltabella. Right? We ate that as kids.
Which I think is still there.
Maltabella.
Made by Bokova.
Really? And a creamy meal. Do you remember creamy meal? When we were kids, that's what we used to have for porridge, Maltabella. So I haven't seen that for a while. Klim. It's not Klim. This is that powdered milk. Klim. K-L-I-M. Sort of like an inversion of milk, right? I saw a recipe the other day, last year sometime, and you make bread using powdered milk. And I bought iklim for this very purpose. And I made the bread and it was fluffy. It was really, really delish. I should make it for you. I should make it and bring it to the studio.
Please
hey?
do.
Please.
We'll hold
with
you to
iklim.
Mm.
I tell you what, I'll even put the whole process on social media.
Let's go.
Just remind me. Condensed milk.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
All right. KG telling me to condense my conversation. All right, things you need to know at this hour. It's 23 minutes after 6 o'clock. He really was the face of the COVID pandemic in many respects, certainly in the US. Dr. Anthony Fauci. Now all sorts of questions being asked of him. Did he fund research that may have led to the development of COVID-19 via potential lab leak in Wuhan, China? In retrospect, were the lockdowns that were catastrophic for businesses in America necessary? And what was his role in advocating for them? As I say, the face of the pandemic in the US, did his fame go to his head? These are the questions Republican lawmakers wanted answered by Dr. Anthony Fauci regarding, of course, the origins of COVID-19, his private diary entries, and his handling of government pandemic policies. For 40 years, he was the head of the National Institute for Allergies and Infectious Diseases. And his response to the very many questions he was asked was that he would not answer. He's saying he was making the argument that the Republicans are making a political spectacle of his medical expertise. But it was really quite extraordinary to watch this 85-year-old man being questioned in the way that he was. I'll play maybe 1 or 2 clips from those exchanges. I asked you, so what's that food product you would genuinely miss if it disappeared from the shelves? You love it, you're sentimental about it, but you probably don't buy it all that often. Well, Premier Foods has announced plans to close its 1 billion rand Talba fruit cannery, citing declining global demand for canned fruit, rising production costs, and the impact of U.S. tariffs on exports. The closure will affect about 250 permanent employees and over 2,000 seasonal and contract workers. The company says the South African canned fruit industry is no longer sustainable in its current form and cannot support too small-scale canning operations. And so, guava and peach slices and pineapple, canned fruit, remember that? We all are sentimental about it. I mean, that was my version. We didn't have pudding and, chocolate souffles growing up. Dessert was just canned fruit and jelly and custard. That was it, right? When last did you buy canned fruit?
It has been a long time.
But you'd eat it, right? If it was an offer.
It's nostalgic.
E-sweets. Turns out, e-sweets might just go away. Have you ever received the wrong meal and just decided not to complain? I've been talking about food all week this week. Charles Bronson, a 73-year-old English criminal notorious for a long history of violent offences, has spent much of his life in prison, as well as periods in high-security psychiatric hospitals. He's now reportedly staged a prison standoff after being served apple crumble without custard. He refuses to leave the exercise yard until officers, or he refused to leave the exercise yard until officers intervened. He's preparing for another parole hearing in November, but this incident reportedly could hurt his chances of being released on parole. Adam Gilchrist will give us more on that story in 2 hours' time. BTS, the South Korean K-pop group and one of the world's biggest music acts, have announced they will not submit their music for consideration for next year's Grammy Awards. And they say they want to be appreciated without being divided by region or language. The group, of course, has received 5 Grammy nominations since 2020, but has never won an award. And it all comes after the Grammys have now got a new category, Best Asian Pop Music. And BTS says essentially if they're nominated in that category, it means they won't be eligible for the mainstream pop award. And they're saying instead of branding us as only Asian when we are mainstream, we simply won't submit nominations. It's important to note, of course, their latest album went straight to the Billboard Hot 200 at the top.
702.
The newspapers.
Swisa Zulu, what you got?
Good morning, Bongani. Speaking of Asia, China is cashing in on history it doesn't actually have. So across the country, entire ancient-looking villages are being built from scratch. I'm talking crumbling walls. I'm talking imported vines, the works. In Beijing, for instance, tourists pay around 280 Rand just to dress up and take photos in these makeshift villages. And they're saying this is basically to boost tourism because a lot of people love history and they don't have places to go, so they set them up for.
So they're creating make-believe villages.
Yes, it's like creating Robben Island in Roodepoort.
Oh, wow. You must just come to our villages. Still there. The front page of the Business Day, Standard Bank, Pepkor opening exploratory talks. A partnership to build the country's preeminent retail bank is highly likely at this stage. And the front page of the Sowetan, unjustly targeted, a picture of the suspended National Police Commissioner, General Fani Masimula. And the Sowetan also wants to know why it's important for you to know your hepatitis status.
EWN Business.
Mateo wants to know if you had a consultant, if you could hire a consultant for your life, where would you want the most advice? Finances, parenting, cleaning up your house, maybe even retirement. What prompts the question, Mateo?
Bongani, the Public Investment Corporation is set to hire external specialists to help rebuild trust and improve its workplace culture after a leadership crisis left it without a board chair, a board, and a permanent CEO. Now, the 5-year program will focus on restoring employee confidence, improving workplace culture, supporting staff through the recent turmoil, and also encouraging open dialogue at the PIC. 8 board members, including Deputy Finance Minister David Masondo, who served as the PIC board chair, have resigned. The state asset manager faces mounting scrutiny after Chief Executive Patrick Dlamini was suspended pending an investigation into allegations raised by a whistleblower. The former CEO has now taken his suspension fight to the Gauteng High Court, telling the court that the said whistleblower is the BEE company that the PIC funded for the Lanseria deal. Now, the company Acapulco ended up owing the fund manager more than 600 million rand. That decision on hold until the PIC has a board. Now, the PIC has faced repeated governance challenges over the past decade. In fact, a 2020 Judicial Commission of Inquiry chaired by retired Judge Lex Mpati found widespread governance issues at the PIC and made several recommendations, including that the fund appoint a professional and independent investment executive as chair. This would require, of course, legislative changes that haven't been affected.
All right, where's the rand?
Quite strong this morning, 16 Rand 66 against the US dollar, 19.08 against the euro, and 22 Rand 24 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is lower this morning, $4,053 an ounce, while platinum is down 1% at $1,597. Brent crude at $89 a barrel. More business after 7.
Time now for the latest Eyewitness News, brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. There's a new sheriff in town, Sfiso Zulu.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. Retired Western Cape Police Commissioner Thembisile Phathekile has been praised for leaving a lasting legacy of stronger policing as the province prepares to welcome a new police commissioner. Sizakele Tyanchi officially takes over this weekend, succeeding Phathekile, who retired at the end of June after serving 5 years at the helm. Acting National Police Commissioner Buleng Dimpane says Phathekile's leadership strengthened crime-fighting efforts and stabilized the SAPS leadership in the Western Cape during a critical period.
His contribution has left a solid foundation upon which we continue to build, and we wish him every success in his well-deserved retirement.
Meanwhile, Police Union Pop Crew has welcomed the appointment, saying his immediate priority should be rebuilding the morale of officers working under difficult conditions, including limited resources. The union's Mluleki Mbele says Tyanchi must also focus on restoring public confidence in the police service.
These communities require sustained, intelligence-led and community-centered policing rather than temporary interventions that provide only short-term relief.
At the same time, the Nyanga Community Policing Forum is calling on residents to work together and take a stand against crime and extortion. The appeal by Nyanga CPS chairperson Dumsani Twebe follows the arrest of 2 suspected extortionists in the area earlier this week. Police say the arrests were made with the help of the community after officers received a tip-off that included descriptions of the 2 suspects. Police spokesperson Wesley Twig says the suspects were found in possession of guns after they attempted to flee from officers.
The suspects aged 21 and 24 face charges for the illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition and the possession of an imitation firearm. They are due to appear in the Athlone Magistrates Court once they have been charged.
And 7 people have been killed in a helicopter crash in Argentina. Emergency services say the firefighting chopper crashed in western San Juan province yesterday. The Bell 412 aircraft had been training before heading to a neighboring province to help put out days-long fires when it came down. The people who died include firefighters, police officers, and civil protection personnel. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 6 and 8 degrees, peaking at highs between 20 and 23.
And in the traffic, we've got delays along the Malibongwe Drive in the Sharon Lee area just as you approach the N1 exit. There's also queuing traffic reported in the city of Tshwane, Doornpoort, just as you approach Sefako Makgato. This is due to an accident as well as roadworks.
The top story this hour, retired Western Cape Police Commissioner Thembisile Phathekile has been praised for leaving a lasting legacy of stronger policing as the province prepares to welcome a new commissioner.
From fuel prices to groceries and electricity, in an economy where the price of everything is going up, it's comforting to know that when you switch to Outsurance, you could actually save money on your car insurance premium. You could save big, like 50-year-old Lawrence, who saves an incredible 309 Rand a month on his 2025 Volkswagen T-Cross. How much money could Outsurance save you? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Hi, this is Alia Itzebet, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. A reminder that you can still shoot for the stars while playing responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counselling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Strong communities are built on a strong local government. Every day, municipalities deliver essential services to improve lives and support thriving communities across South Africa. As the voice of local government, SALGA represents, supports and empowers municipalities to build capable institutions, promote good governance and advance effective service delivery. SALGA, inspiring service delivery.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your Clientele Legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 Rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Sure, Bones and the team. See a lot of great view. I think the product I would miss if it were to be discontinued would be Oros. Oros. That juice took me through a lot. It reminds me of back in the day, in my childhood, when Christmas used to be Christmas, family gatherings used to be family gatherings. Back when I was not eligible to drink wine, it was just Oros. If they were to discontinue that, I would feel like my childhood memories actually just vanish,
Morning, Bongos and team. Ziyelelo here from Soweto. You're talking about a soap product. I'm still sore about a Tempo. Remember the Tempo bar? I feel like one right now. Sharp. Have a good day.
Muteo, speaking about the condensed, there was a time where I craved it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy myself a can, and I did. Did I not drink it? Every now and then I just go there with the spoon. I decided, the spoon is not working. So I had a hole on that can. So I was just drinking it from that can, sipping it from that hole. Condensed is nice, sham. It just reminds me of the days when we were young.
We're talking about that food product you love. You're very sentimental about it. It brings back all sorts of memories, but you haven't bought it in a while. You haven't consumed it in a while. You've grown up and you've realized that perhaps maybe drinking condensed milk is not such a good idea from the can, right? But you'd be sore if you found out it's been discontinued. What's that for you? Let us know.
EWN Sport.
Cindy, we've had Milo, we've had Oros, Sweetie Pie. Remember that little dome chocolate thing? It's gone apparently.
I know, and with it, the chocolate log. The chocolate log
Yes.
also disappeared. My my absolute worst thing that has disappeared. I'm absolutely devastated over this thing.
Yeah.
Is the Tempo chocolate.
That's what we just heard in that voice note.
Tempo.
Tempo.
Tempo was the best. So was a wagon wheel. So was a
wagon wheel.
A Take Two.
Isn't Twix Take Two come back?
Yes, but we can have a South African version of Take
Two. So it was always Twix everywhere else, and we called it Take Two.
I think we had a Take Two.
All it takes is two. Take two. We're talking, of course, also in line of Premier Foods saying they're going to be closing one of their canning facilities. And so canned fruit apparently isn't a thing in South Africa quite as it once was. Yeah, apparently it's exactly that thing. If you were to be offered some canned fruit, you might enjoy it. But how often do you buy it?
Well, actually, I bought it this weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Only because I found a recipe that needed canned apples.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find a non-sweetened version of canned apples. So then then it just didn't taste nice.
It's one of those things where we go, we love it, but if we're not buying it, who's supposed to be buying it? That's why these things get discontinued. I tell you what we don't want discontinued is the performance of South Africa at the Commonwealth Games.
Oh, phenomenal day yesterday for Team South Africa in the swimming pool, winning 6 more medals to take the team total to 22. Peter Kutzer bagged his 3rd gold, winning the 100-meter backstroke in a Games record 51.7. That's just 0.17 off the world record. In the same race, Ruud van Renen won bronze. Paralympian Christian Sadi winning gold in the men's S7 50-meter free. Then Kaylin Corbett got silver in the 200-meter breaststroke. Both the men's and women's 4x100-meter medley teams won bronze. In the men's team was Chad Leclos, who with that bronze is now officially the most decorated athlete in history at the Commonwealth Games. 21 medals in his career. Leclos from his first games in 2010 to now has won 7 gold, 5 silver and 9 bronze.
I was nervous. I just wanted to get my stroke counts right, and the coaches told me don't be too aggro the first 50 because it's going to spin you the last 50. With a relay butterfly, I can't go head down from 17 meters like I did in the individual, and I just hacked the wall. I had to time it right. So yeah, it all came together. I'm grateful. I think I was 51-1, so a little bit faster than individual. But the most important thing is the medal, The most important thing is us getting over the line. So yeah, it's been unbelievable.
In netball, first defeat for the Spar Proteas at the Games. They lost to world number 1 Australia, 57-47. 3 quarters were extremely close. The Aussies won the first one by 1. Proteas won the third by 1. They shared the final quarter. The match was lost in that second quarter when Australia scored 10. Proteas have to beat England tonight at 10 to make the semi-finals. And FIFA has opened disciplinary proceedings against Argentina for their actions during the 2026 World Cup. Argentina's breaches include the use of a banner displaying a message about the Falklands after the England game and their behaviour after the final loss to Spain. Argentina's players being investigated for alleged assault are Naul Molina and Leandro Paredes, as well as the team assistant coach Roberto Ayala. Molina may also face disciplinary action for unsporting behaviour. Under FIFA's disciplinary code, players and officials face up to 3-match ban for assault. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
That's Finey before he got naked. Finey's insurance premium went up for no reason, irritating him more than when the boys ignored the really funny meme he posted in the group chat. What? So Finey got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds on the Naked app. Go Finey. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
There's a song that goes, "Money can't buy me love." And that's true. But then they told us all you need is love, which anybody with a mortgage will tell you most certainly is not true. Love won't pay your parking tickets or your student loan. It's also needy. It requires effort, availability, constant care. But more importantly, love requires time. And while money can't buy you love, it can certainly free up some of your time. Time to spend on the things you love, with the people you love. And if you're looking, maybe even time to find the one you love. That's why, after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time to do the things you love. And don't you love that about investing? Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Hi, Uncle Bongani. My name is Aluchichibala and I am 10 years old. I go to Bryaneven Primary School, and when I grow up, I would love to be a lawyer. I feel excited and nervous at the same time, but I already feel 10,000 rands richer. Thank you for the opportunity to play the Whiz Quiz.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
6:45 this evening traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. There is a crash on the N1 South. Amu, what's going on?
That's correct, Bongani. It's in the waterfall area right near the Baku interchange. It's already causing heavy traffic volumes, and I'm seeing traffic also piling up on the opposite side of this route, the N1 North. So please try to keep it moving if you're traveling on the opposite side of the road. It's on the left lane and it's causing heavy traffic volume. So please be on the lookout there. And then if you are traveling not far from the scene along Pretoria Main Road, in the waterfall area, please be on the lookout for roadworks that are taking place right near the Baku Bridge. They're also causing delays there. There's also queuing traffic in Sharon Lee along Malibongwe Drive approaching the N1. I'll have more traffic updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Clever excuses for being late. Number 91. The lift looks suspicious, so I had to take the stairs all the way up. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer in the FSP.
This past Sunday, wasn't it marvelous? Tens of thousands walking with the people, for the people. The Josie, my Josie 702 walk the talk. The scenic route, the unforgettable memories, showing the world Joburg is more than just a city. So here's to Joburg, here's to us, here's to the 702 Josie, my Josie walk the talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
Your office is more than just a place to work. It's a reflection of your success. At Desk and Chair, we help you elevate your workspace with locally manufactured desks and a wide range of chairs to suit your style and budget. Our expert consultants are with you every step of the way, from planning to delivery and assembly. Visit our showroom in Midrand or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk and Chair. Think, feel, work better.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? It's brought to you by Outsurance. Up to 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. All you do is send us an answer based on something that piqued your interest during the show. For that, you win $1,000. Simply WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Later, someone else will ask a question to get your answer and they will win 2,000 Rand. Now, you stand a better chance of being selected to give us today's answer if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance to get yourself a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Hi, Bongani. I'm so sad that they're discontinuing the canned fruits. Oh my gosh. You know how delicious. That's so nostalgic, actually. Because even if you eat the fruit and then after that you have a sip or you take like a spoon of the sauce, it's always nice. But recently I went to a funeral, sorry, and somebody used the canned, I didn't even know it was, we had crushed pineapple, which is also canned, right? They put that in the coleslaw. It was divine. So I think that's one way that companies can actually reintroduce their products to pick up sales.
Morning, Bongs. By the way, that Klim is milk spelled backwards. Kabel Pretoria.
I did say that. Kabelo in Pretoria. So glad we're all awake this morning. Hey, Kabelo.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 7.
Right, let's see how awake Aluchichi is. 10 years old, wants to be a lawyer later on in life. Aluchichi, I mean, 10 out of 10 would be obviously the ideal score. What do you think you're going to get?
I think I'm going to get at least over 800.
At least over 800. And if you won 10,000 Rand, what would you like to do with it?
I would like to buy a puppy or a cat.
Oh, a puppy or a cat. Oh, well, good luck to you, Aluchichi. Remember, by the way, you can also always go and get a rescue at the SPCA. They don't charge you very much. and it's a dog that needs a home. Maybe that's also an option for you, hey? All right, good luck to you.
Yes.
KG, let's start the clock. From which country are the people known as Norwegians? Are they from Norway or Nigeria?
Norway.
Correct. Which former president is featured on South Africa's bank notes?
Nelson Mandela.
Correct. What, beginning with D, are books that give meanings of words?
Dictionary.
Correct. What is 60 plus 15?
31.
75. What sport does Sasha Feinberg Mgomezulu play for South Africa?
Pass.
Rugby. True or false? The countries Iran and Iraq are neighbors.
True.
Correct. Which word means false? Valid or bogus?
Bogus.
Correct. What color do we mix with yellow to get orange? Do we mix red or do we mix green?
Red.
Correct. What is the character Olaf in the movie Frozen?
Snowman.
A snowman. A snowman. The judges are being generous with that one. They're giving it to you. You walk away with 700 rand. So you're quite close. You're quite close to getting your 8, but 700 rand is what you walk away with. Very well done, Aluchichi. Remember, of course, it's $100 for each correct answer. Get all 10 right, you win 10,000 rand.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
All right, time now for a weather warning. Our winter once again turning treacherous. Heavy snowfall, icy roads, flooding, bitterly cold temperatures disrupting travel across parts of KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape. And authorities have had to close roads and issue travel advisories urging motorists to avoid unnecessary journeys. The situation has become so severe that the Border Management Authority has temporarily closed operations at Kahasnek Port of Entry. This is on the Lesotho border because of the heavy snowfall, and it highlights just how dangerous conditions have become in some parts of the country. Motorists are being warned this may not be the time to take chances. Certainly, you have to be patient on those icy roads if you must be there at all. Driving around a road closure or underestimating the conditions could have devastating consequences. Traffic authorities working closely with emergency services to monitor conditions, manage road closures and keep road users safe as the weather system continues to move through affected provinces. So road closures aren't there as a nuisance or an inconvenience. They're there to potentially save your life. Simon Zwane is the spokesperson for the Road Traffic Management Corporation and joins us now about the latest. A very good morning to you and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Bongani. Thank you for having us.
How would you describe the situation on our roads in the affected regions at the moment?
Well, the situation is extremely dangerous at the moment for vehicles because of the snow. The snow makes the roads to be slippery. In some areas, especially the mountain passes, visibility becomes extremely compromised as well. So it is for this reason that we are asking motorists to reconsider their journeys. If it's not absolutely necessary that you must travel, please postpone the journeys. But we also have a challenge of these people that we call the snow chasers, who want to travel anywhere where there's snow to go and play with snow or whatever. We are also advising them to please respect traffic officers who are on the roads and controlling traffic. It is not really necessary to defy the instructions of the traffic officers because they are there for your safety and the safety of other motorists.
That's putting it mildly. I mean, how concerned are you? Because now we've got technology and all sorts of applications available to us as motorists to be able to try and find alternative routes to get to our destinations. And often what it means is we've just got to be patient until the road is opened again. And what motorists try to do is to say, well, how else can I get there? And that's often where things go wrong, hey?
Yeah, very often that's the time when things are going to go wrong, because the alternative you are taking, you don't know the quality of that road. That road might have been affected by the heavy rains previously, and they might be having potholes that you are not aware of. And this being a rainy day, you will not be able to see those potholes. So you might find yourself in serious danger if you try those tactics. So the idea is remain on the main roads, the main national roads. Use your apps and listen to the radio stations for instructions that will be coming from law enforcement authorities.
Which areas are most affected?
We've received reports this morning that the routes to Underberg are seriously affected. We know that driving past Van Rienen would be a challenge. As well, going down Little Switzerland would also be another challenge if you're going to Durban. In the Eastern Cape, the mountain passes also around the R61 and all of those routes would be affected.
For motorists who absolutely have no choice but to travel to the affected areas, what safety precautions should they be thinking about?
If it's absolutely necessary that they must travel, we're asking them to drive slowly, have the lights on, increase the following distance, avoid crossing flooded bridges, but always keep your radio on and obey the instructions from traffic law enforcement officers who are out on the road to try and assist.
What does this mean for freight operators? I mean, we know heavy trucks use major corridors such as the N3. How will they be affected by all of the snow, ice, and poor visibility?
They will be extremely affected. We ask them to remain at the truck stops until further instructions.
Gosh. Conditions like this, of course, also we know can change, by the hour, right?
Yeah.
You're saying people must stay listening to the radio. I mean, are there apps or websites that will also update them in case, for example, signal is patchy and that kind of thing?
Yes, there are apps. If you are on the N3TC Twitter line is very active. It will provide you up-to-date information. Otherwise, it's also the apps like Waze are also quite reliable in these kinds of conditions.
And of course, the other challenge is once the snow begins to melt, there's still risk of flooding, rocks falling, damaged roads. So even as the weather clears, it may not necessarily be all that safe.
Indeed. That water might also flood the bridges, and you may discover that even more potholes have developed as a result. So it's time to really drive very cautiously and increase the following distances between vehicles for the next coming days until it's totally clear and visibility is clear and you are able to see all conditions on the road.
Mangete, Zwagele. Simon Zwane there, the RTMC spokesperson, warning about road closures, particularly if you're traveling to the Eastern Cape and KZN.
7:02.
Coming up, the big interview.
Big interview focuses on this year's ballot paper. 620 parties to choose from. Will they all be contesting the municipal elections this November? What about those who still haven't registered to vote? This is your last chance to do so. We're going to be speaking to the Independent Electoral Commission's General Manager for Electoral Matters. That's coming up right now. Time for your latest Eyewitness News. It's 7 o'clock.
This is EWN.
A new witness is expected in the Madlanga hot seat today as it continues to scrutinize IDEC, and political parties mount their blame on the ANC for delays in Parliament's impeachment committee. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry will this morning continue examining questionable cases investigated and prosecuted by the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption. The unit's former head, Andrea Johnson, concluded her testimony yesterday after spending several days grilled by commissioners over IDEC's decision-making. During her evidence, Johnson was questioned about a number of issues, including IDEC's decision to prosecute suspended National Police Commissioner Fanny Masemola and whether the unit had the legal mandate to do so. Johnson, however, maintained that the decision was justified.
And Commissioner, as the accounting officer, you need to stop the contract. It took him a long time to do so. And what then happened is, in not acting in terms of his duties as the accounting officer, to act promptly, to act diligently, monies were in fact then paid out because of these unlawful, corrupt activities.
The trial within a trial in the case of alleged underworld figure Vusmuzi Kat Matlala and 4 others is expected to continue in the Johannesburg High Court this morning. The defense is set to scrutinize the official police diary of the state's key witness, Captain Pimi Alfred Sekgobola. This after inconsistencies and sharp contradictions emerged in Sekgobola's testimony in relation to accused number 1, Musa Kekana's arrest. Kekana and his 4 co-accused are facing a combined of 25 charges, including conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, money laundering and fraud. Dimakaso Leshoro has more.
At the heart of the trial within a trial is whether Kekana's constitutional rights were violated during his arrest, whether police complied with the required legal procedures, and whether the evidence obtained as a result of this arrest can be used against him and his co-accused in the trial. When proceedings adjourned yesterday, Sekgobola was presented with Kekana's version of events on the day of his arrest, which differs sharply from the officer's account. Through his legal team, Kekana maintains he was never informed of his constitutional rights or the reason for his arrest. Sekgobola disputes this, testifying he explained to him and Michael Puledau, one of his co-accused in the Amanswart murder case, in Sebedi, and that both confirmed they understood. The defense also denies that Kekana consented to a search of his home. Sekgobola, however, maintains he explained Kekana's rights before obtaining his consent to enter and search the property. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
The ANC has been accused of delaying tactics for second-guessing Parliament's legal advice to the impeachment committee that the independent panel, which laid the groundwork for the inquiry into the Phala matter, not be called to present its report. While most committee members accepted that summoning the report's authors would be a breach of the panel's mandate, ANC MPs asked for the decision to be deferred until it obtained its own legal opinion. The party has also not supported a decision taken by the committee yesterday to appeal a Western Cape High Court ruling that has prevented it from hearing oral evidence pending a court review of the same disputed report. Lindsay Dentlinga takes a look.
ANC MPs have pushed for a decision on an appearance of the Section 89 independent panel to be deferred until Parliament's legal advisers produce an opinion on whether President Cyril Ramaphosa should be compelled to testify in his own defence. But the MKP's Andile Nxikama was among several parties to reject the suggestion.
We receive a legal opinion which is absolutely clear, reasonable, rational, and we are now being told to seek more legal opinion upon legal opinion. That's irrational and a delaying tactic.
The UAT's Wonderboy Mahlatsi shared a similar opinion.
I had expected this delaying tactics, but I didn't think they would be this low.
ANC MP Cameron Dugmore vehemently denied the accusations, saying there appeared to be an unwillingness from some MPs to accept that Ramaphosa is within his rights to challenge the findings of the independent panel. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And an attack on a checkpoint in northern Pakistan has left at least 7 police officers and 8 alleged terrorists dead. Last night's attack occurred in the Hangu district. No group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack. It comes just days after unidentified militants attacked another checkpoint in the northern part of the country. The province there borders Afghanistan has been gripped by a growing violent campaign by the TTP group. Pakistan has previously blamed the increase in attacks on militancy emanating from Afghanistan, whose Taliban government denies Afghan involvement. Gold is trading at $4,054.92 an ounce. The rand is at 16.67 to the dollar, 22.25 to the pound, 19.09 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $89.46 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North just as you leave Soweto due to an accident near the N17. It's causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic on the R21 South in Kempton Park. Unfortunately, another accident reported right near Pomona Road, slowing down traffic.
And in your sports, South African Chad Leclerc, now the most decorated athlete in Commonwealth Games history. Last night, Team South Africa swimmers added 6 more medals to the total, including gold for Peter Kutzer and Christian Sadi. FIFA's opened disciplinary proceedings against Argentina for their World Cup behaviour. And Banyana must beat Ivory Coast tomorrow night to keep their WAFCON dreams alive.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 6 degrees, peaking at 20, Pretoria 8 and 23, Vereeniging 8 as well, and a high of 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the Matlanga Commission of Inquiry will this morning continue examining questionable cases investigated and prosecuted by the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
It really was quite explosive yesterday at the Matlanga Commission of Inquiry. And as you heard there in Eyewitness News, the Commission Chair, Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, continued to question Advocate Andrea Johnson over why, in particular, the National Police Commissioner, now suspended, General Fani Masimula, was even grouped with people who were accused of fraud and corruption, despite it being very clear that whatever he had to answer to was not in the same category. Andrea Johnson was even asked about senior police officials being arrested as a way of securing their appearance in court when there were other avenues to get them to come to answer the questions they faced. She continued to argue that they never alleged that the police commissioner was involved in corruption himself, but was charged under the Public Finance Management Act. And Johnson insisted that Masimula had failed to act timeously when it was brought to his attention that there were questions around the Medicare 24 tender. The timeously she objected to was a matter of 2 weeks. And once that was made clear, she really didn't have very many answers in terms of where to go. And then there was the matter of her relationship with Major General Feroz Khan. Do you remember when she told the Matlanga Commission of Inquiry that they weren't really all that close? I mean, yeah, he works with her husband and they even went to his 50th but didn't stay very long. Tried really to distance herself from the friendship. Listen.
On reading of this, it sounds like you visited each other's families?
No, we didn't. But I can indicate that there might have been an occasion where he would have invited us, yes. But we have not. I have not gone to his home. He has not come to my home. We have not socialized.
You and General Khan had agreed that your family, together with your parrot, will visit General Khan, and you agreed what his family would cook for you for that day.
Yes.
So did that not come to pass?
It didn't come to pass.
But it's the kind of relationship where you have?
Where we would talk, yes. I have met him for lunch once or twice, but not at his home, not at my home. And the first time that I attended a social gathering, Chair, was at the 50th birthday, and both my husband and I had been invited, and we attended the birthday.
So then, the commission wanted to know, this is the evidence leader, Advocate Mahlape Silo wanted to know, so then, if that was as casual as you suggest, how do you explain these terms of endearment?
The purpose of my referring to the charts is to establish a very, very close relationship between General Khan and Advocate Johnson. And if Advocate Johnson were to confirm to you that there is a very close relationship to a point that they greet each other by, saying words like, "Hi, gorgeous," then it makes my point without necessarily having to use the charts. So the charts are not going to give me any relevant evidence for anything except to establish this very close relationship, contrary to what she had stated originally in her statement.
And I know there's been a lot of, sensationalism around these terms of endearment, right? Hi, gorgeous. Hey, dearest. What are you cooking? I miss you. And the real issue, of course, is witnesses who've come before this commission who have said that in her capacity as IDAC head, Advocate Andrea Johnson passed on a docket in which General Khan was the main accused by a complainant. It also would appear, at least at face value, that some of the investigations IDAC conducted would have suited, or at least would have had outcomes that would have suited General Khan. And so that's why their relationship had to be established as close in the manner that it was. I told you a little earlier, in the US, Dr. Anthony Fauci, he's now 85 years old. For 40 years, he was head of the National Institute for Allergies and Infectious Diseases in America. And so when COVID-19 came around, he really was the face of the pandemic in terms of what officials were deciding to do, from travel restrictions right down to lockdowns. Well, the Republicans are having none of it. In a Senate hearing, he has been questioned by Republican lawmakers regarding COVID-19, regarding whether or not his department may have funded research that it may have led to the development of COVID, perhaps in a lab in China. Were those lockdowns necessary? They were so catastrophic for so many businesses. And on he was asked questions, and each one he refused to answer.
I'm going to give you one more opportunity to comply with the law. At any point between January 1st, 2014 and January 19th, 2025, did you destroy any federal record or tell anyone else to?
Under the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
I find your objection unsupported and direct you to answer the question.
Advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer.
Well, nothing says honesty like taking the Fifth, huh, Doc? Let's try something. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer. Any reasonable person who has followed his unhinged obsession with me would readily come to the same conclusion. Therefore, although it pains me to do so because of the respect I have for the legislative branch of government and my decades-long record of cooperating with Congress, under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
That audio from the US news network CBS. And he says, of course, this is a political witch hunt and that he had dedicated a life to medicine and his career to human health. And this is just a witch hunt. And that's why he refused to answer any question from the Republicans.
702. Up next.
The big interview.
Speculation is rife, of course, that now the Deputy Minister in the presidency, Deputy Minister Mohai, could be the next chairperson of the Public Investment Corporation, as President Ramaphosa will want to bring stability to the asset manager. And then listen to this story. Lawyer Karel Skuman is on trial facing allegations of rape and sexual assault and the exploitation of a 13-year-old girl at a Free State resort. Charges, of course, he denies. The case involves the girl's mother, who allegedly received 160,000 rand in connection with Skuman taking the child. The mother faces a separate allegation relating to the selling of her daughters, essentially. The grandmother, it all started with a DM on Facebook when Skuman received a direct message from the grandmother of the child saying, "What on earth are you doing with the little girl? She's 13 years old." And he said he had the mother's permission to be with her and didn't know that she was 13. But how then does he explain the payment to the mother of the child referenced as lobola? It's one of the smuttiest, murkiest stories. He's denied, of course, all the charges against him. That matter continues in court.
EWN Traffic.
7:15, delays on the N1 South. Amo, what's going on?
Bongani, just as you leave Midrand towards areas like Sunny Hill as well as Woodmead, we still have got that accident right near the Baklu turn off. It's causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic reported in Kempton Park along the R21 South approaching Pomona Road. That's due to an accident as well. Delays coming out of the R25 while heading towards Bedford View. Do expect bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Kululis interchange. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Smart business moves mean more cash flow. Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Dr. Fahim from Matrix Dental.
We were with our previous insurers for many years prior to the switch. We found that Outsurance really understood our business needs. We are happy with our premiums. I wish we had switched sooner.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Dreaming of your next getaway? Whether it's a sun-soaked beach escape, an adventure-packed tour, or a luxury cruise, Flight Centre is your center for travel. We make travel easy, affordable, and stress-free. Plus, you can enjoy exclusive traveler perks with our frequent Flighty Rewards program. Flight Centre's got you covered. Visit your nearest Flight Centre store or online at flightcentre.co.za. Flight Centre, your center for travel.
No two vibes are the same. That's why the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 8 is built to adapt to your aesthetic. With its iconic flip design, a customizable flex window, and Galaxy AI, it keeps up with the way you live. That's on Vibe Maxing. Pre-order the new Galaxy Z Flip 8 and get up to 1,000 Rand worth of accessories. Offer available at participating stores until 12 August. T's and C's apply.
Oh, the shelf was leaning sideways, the tap was dripping slow. I said, relax, I've got this, I know just where to go. I went to the crazy store, a screwdriver's all I need. Somehow I left with so much more, a torch, a broom, a book to read.
That's crazy, crazy, that's the crazy store. Went in for one small thing, came out with so much more.
The crazy store. Hey, you never know what you might find.
702 is in conversation with Capitec, discussing how South Africans can protect themselves against financial crime.
Right now, the tactic that we are seeing most is an SMS that looks like a bank fraud alert. A typical message could read something like, so-and-so bank, suspicious transaction of 39,050 Rand from your business account at Sunbet Casinos, Pretoria today. And then it says reply yes if valid or no if fraud, or it gives you then a number to call. And the setup works whichever way you respond. The scammer now has confirmation that there's a real person that is engaging with that number, and they will call you directly. If you call the number in the SMS instead, you are calling straight into the scammer's own fake call center. So either way, you are not talking to your bank. You are talking to a criminal who has been waiting for exactly that.
Slam the scam with Capitec. Capitec is an authorized financial services provider and registered credit provider.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Are you a registered voter, or will you be voting for the first time this year? Have you changed your address since the last election? And are your details with the IEC? The countdown to South Africa's 2026 local government elections is now entering a critical phase, and this weekend will be the last opportunity for eligible South Africans to go and register to vote in person or to be able to update their registration details before the voters' roll closes. And at the same time, political parties are continuing, of course, their preparations to make sure that everything goes smoothly. There's, 620 of them, although, of course, not all of them will be contesting the elections. So to get us sort of the A to Z, if you will, of where we are now in the process, we've invited James Apane, who is the General Manager for Electoral Matters at the Elections Commission of South Africa. James, firstly, thank you for coming in. Great to have you with us in the studio.
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to the listeners of 702. I'm also honored to be here because in my Pedi language, it says, Sivilejwa sea chosha, which means take the invitation seriously and honor it. So that's why I'm here in person. I could have opted for Zoom, but I decided to come and visit you.
In person. Well, I mean, it is certainly going to be an opportunity. Some will take this weekend your invitation for people to come and register themselves in person. It's the last weekend to do so. After this one, Bob's your uncle.
Yes, after this one, Bob is our uncle in terms of physically meeting IEC people, but we still have opportunities online via the online voter registration system.
For anyone who's been putting this off, why is it so important, and what happens if they miss it?
Well, if you miss it, it means you will not be able to participate simply because participation requires that you register as a voter. And participation is wider than just being a voter. Even as a politician or an independent candidate, you need to be registered first. If you're not registered, you will not be able to participate. And even for things like candidate nomination, you are out, completely out. So you have to really be serious about taking part in this election. And as you know, these ones, you have to register where you live and vote where you are registered. It's not just to be on the roll, but it's to make sure you're on the correct segment of the voters' roll.
Because if you have since moved, for example, after the last election, well, that's where you vote. Unless you vote where you voted the last time, sorry.
Yeah. And that's one element of it, Bongani. The other element is because population changes and municipal boundary changes and the ward boundaries changed. And we also had to change some of the voting district boundaries because of settlement growth. So you might have registered correctly, you have not moved, but some boundaries have changed. So it's very key for people to check now and make sure their details are correct.
You've also said there'll be no extensions for candidate list submissions, so political parties and indeed independent candidates better get their act together.
And then we've made it even easier this time around, Bongani. Is an innovation. We have not done this in the past, wherein we've opened online candidate nomination earlier than the prescribed period. Because officially, candidate nomination opens after proclamation. And then this time around, we made sure that the system is open for early capture so that you can be able to see that your requirements meet the criteria and therefore you can deal with those issues before submission.
So as far as I know, and I said this in my introduction, there are now 620 registered political parties in this country. Does that then mean that we'll have to choose from all of them?
Well, potentially, yes, but unfortunately, they have to meet the requirements for candidate nomination. You say 620, but last night before I left, I was processing additional applications for parties to be on the register. The register is one element, but you need to meet the requirements for contestation in this particular election. So because of the manner in which the democracy is in South Africa, it encouraged wider participation because a lot of people have been fighting for this right for quite some time. So we're not stopping people from registering parties, but we'll certainly need to make sure that they meet the requirements for this election.
All right, so how will it work once I'm now looking forward, and maybe we'll speak about this closer to the time again, but how will it work once I'm in the booth in terms of independent candidates, in terms of the political parties? Because, of course, I think one thing to note is that not all parties, it's not a national poll, so some parties will contest only in specific areas.
That's very key because, in the last NPE, we're dealing with about 19 elections. In this local election, and I want to underscore the word local because it's a ward-based election, you're going to have over 4,000 different ballots. And this requires you to be able to identify the person that you want to vote for the ward ballot, which is the first past the post system, where the winner takes all, meaning the person with the most votes will be winning that ward. That way one type of ballot will get in there. And then the other type of ballot will be the PR ballot, proportional representation ballot. On that ballot, you're going to get the party name and the logo. So you'll be selecting that party. Behind that party is a list of people that are eligible to take up seats once those seats are available. So as a person living in an area which is a metro like here in Sandton, you're going to get 2 ballots. For the ward ballot, you're going to see the names of the people, either from a party or the individual that is an independent candidate. So you'll be voting directly for those people. When it comes to the PR portion, which is the metro ballot, you're going to be voting for a party, and that party will obviously decide who is on the list based on the list that they submitted to the IC. That will be 2 ballots for the area that is a metropolitan municipality. For an area that doesn't have a metropolitan municipality, you're going to get 3 ballots. The ward ballot is everywhere in metro areas and non-metro municipalities. And then you're going to get what we call a local council ballot because you're not in a metro now. But the same principle applies because it's going to get party names and abbreviations and party logos because you are selecting a party behind which there is a list. But additionally, because you are in an area that is not a metropolitan area, you're going to be voting for a DC portion, district council ballot. For instance, if you are in Mfuleni, for instance, you're going to get a ward ballot. You're going to get a local council ballot for Mfuleni, but you're also going to get a district council ballot for Sidibeng District Municipality.
Are there officials on the ground explaining this at the various polling stations to make sure people understand so that it doesn't sound overwhelming or complicated?
Yes, there are, but we also have access to technology. We're using social media. We're using, a lot of modern technologies to make sure it's easier. We're using animations so that, as you indicate, it's not overwhelming. It's as easy as possible.
Where can people find this information and these graphics, for example, and this animation you're referring to?
We have a lot of social media handles at IEC South Africa. We also have dedicated YouTube channels. The IEC's website is actually a fountain of information, Bongani. I mean, I always speak about it as some sort of a water hole. If you think of the bush out there where the animals, all of them will have to come and get some water.
Yes.
So we're inviting all South Africans to continuously go get some information on the IEC's website.
And importantly, they mustn't get tainted water or contaminated water, right? How are you dealing with misinformation and disinformation?
I knew that this was coming. We made sure that whatever we do is easily labeled as the IEC to make sure that it's not contaminated information. And you know that we've just, closed the window for people to submit their inputs when it comes to the draft code on countering disinformation. We're looking at all of those submissions, and the Commission will include all the suggestions that people made there. And one of the issues that we've highlighted yesterday in the statement is that once proclamation kicks in, the code of conduct also kicks in, which makes sure that all the contestants, including ourselves, the media, technology companies, are going to abide by the code of conduct.
People typically don't take local government elections quite as seriously as they do the national poll. Yeah. That's the wrong attitude, isn't it?
Absolutely, because look, we're talking about bread and butter issues. I've listened now as I was coming here, the interview we had with one of the guys at the RTMC, I think, regarding potholes. So now, if you have issues with potholes, it means your local councillor should be the one helping out in terms of how to deal with those kind of local issues. So local elections must be very important. I'm not saying national is not, but local elections directly affect how you actually experience the service delivery.
So if somebody is having it better elsewhere, you could too if you vote. Appreciate your time. James Apane, the General Manager, Electoral Matters at the IEC.
EWN Business.
Let's go to business news now. Muteo Khwaripe, Southern Sun to pour money into its flagship Elangeni and Maharani hotels in Durban. I've stayed there before and they were fantastic.
Well, they want to make it better. Bongani, Southern Sun has started a 250 million rand renovation of its flagship 734-room Elangeni and Maharani Hotel on Durban's beachfront, marking one of the biggest private sector investments in the area in more than a decade. The 3-year phased upgrade will include renovations to all guest rooms, restaurants, the foyer, conference facilities, a new club lounge, and improvements to pool deck and exterior The project follows Southern Suns securing a new long-term lease for the beachfront property from the eThekwini municipality last year. The hotel group has committed to investing heavily in its Durban beachfront portfolio, with a total planned investment expected to reach 1 billion rand in the next few years.
Let's talk platinum.
Yeah, shares of platinum miner Valterra closed more than 4% higher. The company expects artificial intelligence and data centers to boost the demand for platinum group metals. The miner says there's a potential future PGM demand of 10 million ounces annually in industrial applications, jewelry, the growth of hydrogen as a clean energy source, as well as supportive AI technologies. The world's top platinum producer by value reported headline earnings per share of 82 Rand and 2 cents for the 6 months to June, driven by an 85% surge in metal prices coupled with an 18% increase in sales volumes.
Now, why is Mark Zuckerberg not the happiest?
Well, Meta platforms are
tech
down.
bros at the moment.
Well, the tech shares and tech companies are releasing results. Meta went first yesterday, losing 7% on the market after issuing a soft revenue forecast. Microsoft, on the other hand, jumped 8% on surging growth for its AI businesses. On the New York Stock Exchange, that saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropping as well, down 2%, while the Nasdaq Composite fell by 1.7%. In Asia this morning, Japan's Nikkei gaining more than 0.5%, while the Topix was down. Australia's benchmark S&P ASX 200 was also lower, so mixed trade in Asia. Back home, the Rand also punching above its weight this morning against the US dollar, 16 Rand 67 against the US dollar, 19 Rand 10 cents against the euro, and 22 Rand 26 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is down 0.5% at $4,045 an ounce, while platinum is down more than 1% at $1,594. Brent crude at $90 a barrel. More business after 8.
Straight to the news desk. Swiss Zulu, what do you have at this hour?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Lawyers for the DA have argued that the Tshwane Council Speaker has failed to give a legal basis for a controversial resolution that is now being challenged in court. The DA's urgent bid was heard in the Pretoria High Court yesterday, where a resolution to place City Manager Johan Metler on precautionary suspension was challenged. The vote was taken during a sitting earlier this month where 12 DA and 1 Freedom Front Plus councillor were on a leave of absence, but 9 other DA councillors ended up attending. Khomozo Modise has more.
At the heart of the DA's bid is whether the decision by Tshwane Speaker Mncedi Nzwanana to disregard the votes of the councillors who were said to be on leave but ended up voting is lawful. Yesterday, the lawyer for council and the speaker spent most of his time arguing that the matter lacks urgency and gave a limited address on the lawfulness of Nzwanana's decision. The DA's lawyer, Advocate Nick Ferreira.
And the reason why he had to do that is because, with the greatest respect to him, he does not have any meaningful answer on the legality of the Speaker's decision to deduct the 13 votes.
The court must now make a decision on whether the matter meets the requirements on urgency, and if so, whether the Council's resolution was lawful. Judgment will be handed down tomorrow. Khomozo Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
A new chapter in policing is set to begin in the Western Cape as Sizakele Jantyi prepares to take over as the province's police commissioner. He succeeds Thembisile Phathekile, who retired last month. Jantyi, with more than 34 years of experience in the police force, officially starts working this weekend. He takes over at a time when the province continues to grapple with gang violence, extortion and other forms of organized crime. Ntutuzelo Nene takes a look.
Speaking after his appointment in Cape Town yesterday, Lieutenant General Sizakele Jantyi said tackling these crimes will require stronger partnerships between police and communities. He said the SAPS will soon unveil its implementation plan under the Police Reset Agenda, which includes strengthening leadership at 140 high-crime police stations and rolling out a national organized crime strategy. But Jantyi stressed that rebuilding public trust will be critical to the success of these interventions.
Because these issues are happening within the community. There are people within the community that witness these activities taking place.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
Snow has returned in parts of South Africa as a bitter cold continues to grip ahead of the weekend. It has been snowing in the Eastern Cape, parts of KwaZulu-Natal, and in some areas of the Free State along the Lesotho border. The South African Weather Service has urged motorists to drive carefully on icy conditions. Forecaster Lihlohonolo Tubela.
Along the coastal areas of KwaZulu-Natal, we're expecting damaging winds and waves that may result in navigation at sea to be difficult. It is a yellow level 2 warning, which means there's a high likelihood of minor impacts expected. If you'll be in Gauteng, though, expect cool temperatures into the afternoon. Partly cloudy conditions are expected.
With severe weather warnings becoming more common, the Weather Service is also encouraging South Africans to better understand its impact-based warning system. Tobela explains the color-coded alerts that are designed to show the type of weather expected.
So a yellow level would be a high likelihood with minor impact. You'll have an orange that will have a high likelihood of significant impact. So with every number that we have in terms of the color as well as the warning that we issue, it results in a likelihood as well as the impacts that are expected.
Meanwhile, thousands who fled huge wildfires in Spain, they've returned to their homes, while in France, firefighters battle raging flames as a new heatwave grips the region. The neighboring countries have been hit by some of the worst forest fires in living memory over the past week. Spain lifted remaining evacuation orders for Avila province and for the last 2 towns near Madrid that had been evacuated yesterday. While some evacuees returned to untouched homes, others found only devastation. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 6 and 8 degrees, peaking at highs between 20 and 23 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in Houghton along Houghton Drive approaching Kasogari Road. That's due to an accident. It happened right near Kasogari, causing about a 20-minute hold-up. Delays coming out of St. Andrews Road. There's also queuing traffic on the Maikwa North between the Kilani Bends and Corlett Drive while heading towards Bedford View. Do expect delays on the N12 and the R24 West between Edenville Road and the N12 merge.
The top story this hour, lawyers for the DA have argued that the Tshwane City Council Speaker has failed to give a legal basis for a controversial resolution that is now being challenged in court.
When Joburg came together in the iconic CBD for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, unforgettable moments were made, and none of it would have been possible without our incredible partners.
Baba Khanedi, the Chief Marketing Officer at Gauteng Tourism Authority. What a wonderful day, a brilliant installment of the return of 702 Walk the Talk into the city of Johannesburg. Gauteng Tourism is not a sponsor, it's a lifelong partner. No other city in the African continent is able to pull a walk event like this. And shout out to 702, all the 702 lenders for once again coming up in their thousands. This is going to be even bigger and better next year as we move towards 140 celebration of this wonderful city.
Thank you to all our partners who showed that great things happen when Joburg comes together for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
Last week, the competition got tastier, louder, and more confusing as Koeksister, Goga, Pappenwors, and Sheep entered the game. And now the stakes go up again. This week, it's a full musical showdown with 6 masks back and fighting to stay in the competition. Leopard, Mosquito, Chopsticks, Sporty, Protea, and King Pie.
Ain't no mountain high enough. And we're rolling, 'cause I don't wanna lose you now. I'm looking right at the other half of me.
When the business is trying to get at you, pocket like it's hard, pocket like it's hard, pocket like it's hard.
So listen carefully, because every detail could bring you one step closer to guessing who's behind the mask. Catch a brand new episode of The Masked Singer South Africa this Saturday at 7 p.m. on SABC2. The repeat on Thursday night at 9 p.m. on SABC1 and again on Friday at 1:30 p.m. on SABC2.
That's Kefense, before she got naked. Kefense's premium went up twice last year, and she was more confused than when her ex said, "I need to find myself," and then found somebody else. So Kefense got naked. She got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds on the Naked app. Good for you, Kefense. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
What's for dinner tonight, South Africa? Hiya, Jamie Oliver here. Dinner stress? Forget it. I've teamed up with Checkers to bring you some of my favourite recipes the whole family will love. Easy peasy and delicious. Shop the ingredients on Checkers 6060 and boom, delivered in 60 minutes. Every week, 5 brand new dinner ideas. Checkers, dinner done better.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. If you can ask your guest a question, with the online, I think we are limited with the online because it gives us a problem when you have to choose an address, especially in a new area. Why don't they just include the wards where you can select a ward specifically? Because I do want to register online, but when I go online, it doesn't allow me to register with the address that I have, because that area, it's a new area. I'm not sure whether it's still in the Google map or what, but it refuses. So that's my point, Sindile.
Morning, Bongani. Bongani is really national elections. I have changed my status, if so to speak, as a special voter. They visited me due to my current condition as a disabled person. So automatically, even for local, my status has changed, or do I have to do it again? Do I have to change it again? Ask your guest. Thank you.
All right, we'll put those questions to the IEC in terms of just difficulties around ward registration and special voter status and how you are to navigate those coming up.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, a chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Simpiwe. Simpiwe, please give us today's answer.
Hi, Bongani. Today's answer is BTS.
BTS. It's not Dana, hey?
Is that done?
You see what I did there, Simpiwe? Tell me, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I've requested.
All right, your biscuit. 1,000 Rand is coming your way. Simpiwe, not Dana, says the answer is BTS. Just having a
Thank you, Bongani.
big chuckle there. All right, it's BTS. If that's the answer, what's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, let's go straight to the Commonwealth Games. Our medal tally is going up and up and up and up and up. And there's one really, really special athlete representing South Africa.
Absolutely. Chad Leclerc, the most decorated athlete in Commonwealth Games history. Now, he won bronze with the men's 100-meter medley team last night to take his total to 21 medals. Since 2010, he has won 7 gold, 5 silver and 9 bronze.
Just happy to be on the team, let alone get 1 medal. I didn't think I'd be standing here 16 years later with 21 medals. I want to say a huge thank you to my teammates. Without them this week, it would never have been possible. I mean, Peter, what he did for us tonight, back-to-back 51s, he deserves everything that's coming his way. Michael Hooley showed incredible character to come back, drop 2 59s back-to-back. And then Rod, the guy that's never really done much freestyle, bringing it home for us tonight when we needed it most. Grateful to the boys, grateful to the girls, all the staff.
South Africa swimmers continue to be the only medal winners, adding 6 from yesterday. Peter Kutzer got his 3rd gold medal. He won the 100-meter backstroke in a game's record time.
It's amazing. It's a good feeling. I didn't really know what kind of form everyone else would be in coming into the meet, but after 1 or 2 races, I knew it was going to be possible, and I knew I was on form. So to pull it off and to remain focused until the end is awesome. I say till the end, but there's still one more race. So, but yeah, so far there's nothing I can complain about.
In the same race, Road van Reenen won bronze. Gold also for Paralympian Christian Sadi in the men's S7 50-metre free. Kayleen Corbett got silver in the 200-metre breaststroke, and the women's 100 medley team also taking bronze. In netball, first defeat for the Spa Proteas. They lost to world number 1 Australia 57-47. The game was lost in the second quarter, which the Aussies took by 10. Proteas have to beat England tonight. FIFA opened disciplinary proceedings against Argentina's players, Naul Molina and Leandro Paredes, as well as the team assistant coach Roberta Ayala. They're being investigated for alleged assault after the final whistle in the World Cup loss to Spain. The team is also being investigated for using a banner displaying a message about the Falklands after the England game. And a must-win game for Banyana Banyana at WAFCON tomorrow night. They're playing Ivory Coast. Midfielder Isabella Ludwig.
Yeah, I think obviously not the result that we wanted, but I think going into the next game we'll try and improve on all the mistakes we made and rectify on those areas and hopefully get the result that we need going into this next game. There's definitely pressure. It's obviously tough going into the next game, not with the result that we wanted behind us, but I think it's important that the team sticks together and we just put our best foot forward.
Kickoff tomorrow night is 7 p.m. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
14 to 8. Let's catch up with the roads now. Amo, issues on Houghton Drive?
That's correct, Bongani. Due to an accident near Castle-Gowrie Road, it's causing delays as well on St. Andrews Road. So if you're thinking of turning off right at Castle-Gowrie towards Houghton Drive, please try to avoid this intersection at all costs. It's causing about a 20-minute hold up there. Try to use the Mike 1 North instead through Jan Smuts Avenue. While traveling on the N3 North, queuing traffic between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. That's due to peak time delays there. There's also queuing traffic reported in Kempton Park along the R21 South. An accident right near the Pomona Road exit. Delays coming out of the R25. More updates coming up. Please stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Thinking about studying but waiting for the right time? With Richfield's online qualifications designed to fit around your life, the right time is now. But you better hurry because their mid-year applications close soon. So whether you're working, changing careers, ready to level up, you can choose degrees and diplomas in business and IT, as well as a prestigious online MBA. Plus, you can study online from anywhere. Applications will close soon, so apply today at richfield.ac.za. Richfield, your future enriched.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 rand worth of legal services per year. We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Because behind every blood donation is a future still unfolding. A child's first day at school, a first job, a dream business, a first drive. For 25 years, blood donors have made these moments possible. In just 30 minutes, give someone another tomorrow. Be the lifeline. Give blood. Give it tomorrow. The South African National Blood Service.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is BTS, let's go to Katleho in Roodepoort. Katleho, what's the question?
Hi, Mr. Bongani. The question is, which boy group stated that they won't submit a Grammy nomination this year?
Yes, indeed. Well, for next year's Grammys, but I'll give it to you, Katleho.
Yes.
So essentially, the Grammys have come up with a new category, Best Asian Pop Group or Duo. And BTS thinks they will do well in the mainstream category and don't want to be boxed as only an Asian act. And so they say they will not submit a nomination just to make sure that they are not winners of that category. And that means, Katleho, you walk away with 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. What is BTS, you wonder? What is even K-pop, this South Korean music that this particular group has made popular? Let's bring you up to speed. So that's a song called DNA. If you wanted to know what K-pop sounds like, how about this one? KG, Permission to Dance. Oh, not quite Permission to Dance. Apparently it's a song called On, Amo. Let's try one more. Dynamite.
So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kick out, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking on.
This is how you find out you are just too old. Yeah, ne? I'll stick to my Manhattans. Thank you very much. I mean, it sounds pleasant enough. I'm all right.
Yeah, it does. And it's quite entertaining for the little ones as well.
No, but I'm too old. 4011, this boat has missed me.
To save money, you delay the upgrade on your cell phone. So why not spend 10 minutes getting an Outsurance car insurance quote like 54-year-old Yaku who saves
282 Rand. Outsurance is the green saving machine. If you want the best, you go to Outsurance.
That's a fantastic 282 Rand saving on Yaku's 2025 Suzuki Swift. Make the move. SMS out to 45142. Outsurance saves 58-year-old Loretta an awesome 479 Rand on her 2017 BMW 320.
Saving quite a lot. 479 Rand per month. If you look at our economy, everything has become so expensive. Outsurance is giving me now a lifeline.
Always getting something out. And after 3 consecutive claim-free years, you get an out bonus. How much money could Outsurance save you? Get a quote now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
If you have an unresolved dispute involving your bank, your insurer, pension fund, or financial advisor, you can complain to a financial ombud for free. South Africa's financial ombud system, overseen by the Ombud Council, provides free, fair, and impartial dispute resolution. So whether it's through the National Financial Ombud, the Phase Ombud, or the Pension Funds Adjudicator, help is available. Visit ombudcouncil.org.za for more info.
In a world of noise, one thing is still clear. Akwele. Introducing the new, still-flavored range from Akwele. Lemon mint, mango passion fruit, blueberry raspberry, peach apricot. Still made from Akwele's 100% natural spring water. Delicious, high in vitamins, low in kilojoules, and still full of joy. It's new, it's refreshing, it's flavored, it's still a Kwele.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
All right, Kabazela not able to join us this Thursday, feeling a little poorly. So speedy recovery to him. So we've decided as a team to come up with a viral video. And this one shows a police officer who is chasing a suspect. And there's not much audio other than people just cheering him on. But he's running and guy's quite fit because he's also carrying quite a big rifle.
Yeah.
Right? These police rifles they carry. And he runs and he runs and he runs after the suspect. And there's somebody who's obviously filming all of this. And they're all screaming for the officer to catch the suspect. It's a cute little video. But it raises the question, for him to be able to do this, obviously he has to be physically fit.
Yeah.
What is the most physically demanding part of your job? Mateo? And I know what you're going to say. We can all say the same thing in this studio. It's the waking up in the morning, right, for us.
Of course it is. We wake up like soldiers, it's a drill and we have to be on time all the time. I think that's the most physically demanding thing about this job, except for the voices that we use. But I'm not going to go out and say it's the same as, an elite policeman from a tactical team. No, far from it.
Amo, do you ever get used to it?
Yes, you do get used to it because even on days I don't have to come to work, maybe I'm on leave or it's a public holiday or whatever, my body just wakes up at like 4 a.m. or 3:30 in the morning, but I won't get out of bed. I don't know if you get me, but you are just up. So your body does get used to it, but you getting used to the fact that you are up, it's not something that you can get used to.
Mateo, your body gets used to it?
Yeah, you have to be a little crazy to do what we do at this time because also during weekends, it's the same.
Look at December.
Yeah.
Your
eyes open at like 3 a.m. You're like, why
Unless
am I
you know
up?
that you're on holiday and you've programmed
But
your
you won't
mind.
get out of bed, but you will be up.
It's not me. Hey?
It's not you?
Every day is a struggle.
It's not me. There are days where I wake up ahead even of the alarm because, as you say, your body's primed for it.
Yes.
But if that thing was not on, or if I know I'm not going to the office,
You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't make it.
Blankets are warm.
I sleep, the sleep of the dead. All right, that's it for us. The waking up because of the nature of our jobs. People think, you just get there at 6 o'clock and start talking. No, it doesn't quite work that way. We do a lot of preparation behind the scenes before we come on air. And so that means most of the team members are at the studio at the very least around 4 o'clock in the morning. That's physically demanding at 4011. What's the most physically demanding aspect of your job? Let us know.
702.
702.
Feedback.
With Rupfiwa Kone.
Rupfiwa Kone, would you agree? The most physically demanding aspect of our job is the getting up?
Getting up in the morning, adjusting for us as producers, it's adjusting to the different times. 1 week we're waking up at 3 o'clock. The next week we have to produce in the evening. So just that body clock, it just doesn't... you don't get used to it. It's not easy to get into the groove of that.
So for context, for listeners who may not understand our work stream, we have producers that are in the studio with us as the show is happening. So part of what they're doing is they're sending me pieces of paper, they're answering the phones, they're making sure all the guests are available, doing all sorts in the studio. And there's usually an afternoon, evening producer who is the one who sets the show up, who books the guests and makes sure that we have people to talk to on the program. And you guys do a rotation, right? So 1 week you're here, another week you might be working in the afternoons and not on the show. So you get a little bit of a break from waking up in the morning.
It's not really a break because you're 2 weeks of waking up at 3 a.m. Then on the third week, you have to adjust yourself. So you don't really get into
suffer.
You don't get into the rhythm of things,
pain.
Bongani.
The sorrow.
It's daunting,
I
darling.
can hear. What other feedback do you have for us?
Well, Bongani, with voters registration coming up this weekend, we had two questions. One from Uslindile, who was asking about the limitations for online voters, and also one from Tabang, speaking about the changes affecting special voters. We did reach out to James once again, and he had this to say. Let's take a listen.
Good morning, Sindile and South Africans. It is possible that you are in an area where there are no conventional addresses where, for instance, there are no street numbers, street names, suburban towns. This will also be in rural areas. So you have to interact with the map. You can zoom in on the map and then identify where you reside. Once you click on that location, it will actually be able to link you to the correct ward and also allow you to enter the details that are missing on the map. And this will also be an opportunity for us to enrich our maps. So if you don't find your address, go onto the map, identify the house or the dwelling where you live in, click on it, and you will be able to proceed. Good morning. For the second caller, the law provides that those that cannot visit the station must be visited at home before election day on the 4th. So either on Monday or Tuesday, people will be visited, but it's not automatic. People need to notify the CEO that they cannot come to the voting station, and therefore a team will be dispatched to go to those people. It will be possible for you to apply for special vote only after the election timetable has been published. Somewhere after proclamation, we're waiting for the minister to proclaim, and then the IEC will publish a timetable which will indicate the days where you can apply for a special vote. Indeed, you will be visited, but it's not necessarily automatic.
Right, that's the latest from James Apane, the General Manager of Electoral Matters at the IEC.
This is EWN.
IDEC's credibility is still under the spotlight at the Madlanga Commission, and the court continues to figure out the puzzle in the Vusmuzi Cat Matlala trial. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A new witness is expected to testify at the Madlanga Commission this morning as the inquiry continues to examine questionable cases investigated and prosecuted by the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption. The unit's former head, Andrew Johnson, concluded her testimony yesterday after spending several days grilled by commissioners over IDEC's decision-making. During her evidence, Johnson was questioned about a number of issues, including IDEC's decision to prosecute suspended National Police Commissioner Fanny Masemola and whether the unit had the legal mandate to do so. Johnson, however, maintains that the decision was justified.
And Commissioner, as the accounting officer, you need to stop the contract. It took him a long time to do so. And what then happened is, in not acting in terms of his duties as the accounting officer, to act promptly, to act diligently, monies were in fact then paid out because of these unlawful corrupt activities.
The trial within a trial in the case of alleged underworld figure Vusmuzi Cat Matlala and 4 others is expected to continue in the Johannesburg High Court this morning. The defense is set to scrutinize the official police diary of the state's key witness, Captain Pimi Alfred Sikhobela. This after inconsistencies and sharp contradiction emerged in Sikhobela's testimony in relation to accused 1 Musa Kekana's arrest. Kekana and 4 of his co-accused are facing a combined of 25 charges, including conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, money laundering and fraud. Dimakaso Leshoro has more.
At the heart of the trial within a trial is whether Kekana's constitutional rights were violated during his arrest, whether police complied with the required legal procedures, and whether the evidence obtained as a result of this arrest can be used against him and his co-accused in the trial. When proceedings adjourned yesterday, Sikhobela was presented with Kekana's version of events on the day of his arrest, which differs sharply from the officer's account. Through his legal team, Kekana maintains he was never informed of his constitutional rights or the reason for his arrest. Sikhobela disputes this, testifying he explained to him and Michael Puledau one of his co-accused in the Amanswart murder case, Insibedi, and that both confirmed they understood. The defense also denies that Kekana consented to a search of his home. Sekgobela, however, maintains he explained Kekane's rights before obtaining his consent to enter and search the property. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
Political parties have thrown the names of advocates Sesi Baloyi and Griffiths Madonsela into the pool of candidates to be considered to lead evidence in President Cyril Ramaphosa's impeachment inquiry. Baloyi is currently part of the Madlanga Commission probing police corruption, while Madonsela recently defended Eastern Cape Judge President Selbin Benenge in his misconduct trial, which has led to a recommendation of impeachment. But a protracted gathering of the impeachment committee yesterday failed to debate the new nominations, as the meeting was consumed by taking a decision to appeal last week's court ruling that has put the brakes on oral evidence being heard. Lindsay Dentlinker has more.
After the committee last week felt that a short list of 4 candidates was not enough for consideration, political parties were invited to make further suggestions as to who to recommend to Parliament to serve as evidence leader for the Section 89 inquiry. The EFF, MK Party and UAT have all nominated Griffiths Madonsela from the Durban Bar for the role. The IFP, meanwhile, has suggested Sesi Baloyi and Carol Steinberg. The Freedom Front Plus has added Yanni Libber, and the ATM has put forward the name of Tiny Seboko. MKP parliamentary leader John Hlophe has suggested 2 evidence leaders be considered for this inquiry. Meanwhile, the ANC's Kola Ngola questioned whether it was prudent to appoint an evidence leader during this period of legal limbo.
Because it will be a fruitless expenditure if we are to spend too much on the work of the evidence leader, and at the tail end, the report is reviewed successfully.
The committee has deferred the decision to a meeting next week. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And Russian strikes on Kyiv have killed at least one person after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned of Moscow launching another massive attack overnight. Air raid sirens sounded in the Ukrainian capital and several explosions were heard afterwards. In a post on X, Zelensky says the Russians prepared a massive attack several days ago, and there is a high probability that the strike will be carried out tonight. Zelensky also repeated his request to Ukraine's allies to supply Kyiv with the missiles its air defense systems lacks. Gold is trading at $4,054.92 an ounce. The rand is at 16.67 to the dollar, 22.25 to the pound, 19.09 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $89.46 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident in Deep Kloof, Chris Honey Road, right as you approach the N1 exit. It's causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic due to another accident scene reported in Houghton along Kasogari Road, right near Houghton Drive, causing delays.
And in your sports, South Africa's swimmers bring home another 6 medals, taking the team tally to 22, including Peter Kotze bagging his 3rd gold of the Games. Chad de Clos is now the most decorated athlete in Commonwealth Games history, and FIFA's opened disciplinary proceedings against Argentina's players for assault.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: a new witness is expected to testify at the Madlanga Commission this morning as the inquiry continues to examine questionable cases investigated and prosecuted by IDIC.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, the front page of the Sowetan today has a picture of the suspended National Police Commissioner General Fanny Masimula. Unjustly targeted is the question the paper poses. This, of course, as we heard yesterday, that General Fanny Masimula was joined to the 228 million rand Medicare 24 corruption case. And the question that was asked of the outgoing IDAC boss, Advocate Andrea Johnson, was whether or not this was all done to embarrass the country's top cop. The chair of the commission at pains to point out that for the general public, there won't be much of a differentiation between the charges of fraud and corruption his co-accused are facing and a matter of a supposed or alleged infraction of the Public Finance Management Act. Essentially, he was in the dock because IDAC believed he didn't act timeously to cancel the contract when issues arose around Katmatlala and getting that SAPS tender. He acted 2 weeks after it was flagged. And that's why he's on suspension in the dock? Was this, just a procedural difference in approach? Or is there something more sinister here? Have a listen.
We are not trying to suggest that General Masemula has committed no offenses, no. But we want to know why this was done. You've agreed very easily, you know these principles, you apply these sections all the time. Why was the Commissioner Masemula lumped with these people, charged with fraud and corruption when he is not? When he is charged with the statutory offenses provided for in the PFMA. At face value, it seems to me that this must have been done to embarrass him, to taint him, and to make the public, or to cause the public to see him as also being complicit in fraud and corruption.
Chair, I understand. I gave the contention that I did, that the prosecutors put him in one matter because there's the serious complex fraud corruption, and it would be one matter when they lead the evidence with the PFMA. I accept that this matter, he should be separated, but at no stage, Chair, was there an intention to embarrass.
So why do it then? Why do it then was the question. And yeah, I mean, she kept on being pressed on this issue of the National Commissioner, the fact that he was charged under the Public Finance Management Act, and yet it was all to do with not responding quickly enough for Andrea Johnson's liking?
It was brought to his attention, and the bringing it to his attention is because he is the accounting officer. And had he acted, then the perpetuation of this unlawful corruption, commercial and financial crimes would not have taken place. It is so, Chair, we never said that he was party to the corruption, but he is being charged then for the PFMA arising out of those matters that he had become aware of, and that we say he then did not stop.
For failing to act for 2 weeks. Yeah, ne?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
12 after 8. Kabazela unable to join us, but nonetheless, I've reposted the video, by the way, on my TikTok account. So you can't follow John O'Lard today because he's not here to have done it. I learned today how to repost on TikTok. It's a funny video in some senses. Very athletic police officer chasing down a suspect. He's running with a rifle in hand. And, you know, there's a cheerer in the crowd, as it were, who obviously takes the video. And it does look like he's going to absolutely nab this fella. And I wanted to know, what's the most physically demanding aspect of your job? We're all agreed, I think, in the studio. For us, it's the getting up in the early hours. But also, I mean, if you're covering a special event like an election, for example, well, we don't get much sleep when those are in town, and certainly I can expect that this November we'll be having some puffy eyes. Muteo?
Yeah, I think I remember the last election that we did. Well, I think it was the national election. It could be from you arrive there at like 5 a.m. By 5 p.m. you're still there. If the results are coming out that day and you wait, and you keep it rolling coverage. You speak to the certain politicians that are there, and before you know it, you spend the entire day, covering elections. So I do imagine November will be very much the same.
Bangol 702 Lenders, happy Thursday. The most physically demanding of my job, which I created for myself to avoid sitting in those offices and making decisions. I go to sites and I visit the people working on sites and wear those PPE, their boots and all those overalls and walk the site. Bongals, the one moment I think I reported about 30,000 steps just walking one side. So yeah, I enjoy that, but it's very, very tiring. And imagine people doing that every day. So it's kind of a motivation to say, we see you, we appreciate you, big ups to what you're doing. So yeah, I love it and I will always do it. Thanks a lot, guys, for a great show. Shadi, Kempton Park.
Bongani, so from my side, it has to be the travel. Like there was a time when I had to travel to Europe every second week, and I remember on my fifth trip, what happened was CrowdStrike. I don't know if you remember CrowdStrike when everything just shut down. And I remember getting on the plane. I think I was the last person to get on the plane. And as we were flying, I'm like, we all don't know where we're going. Even the pilot cannot see where we're going. We just flying blind. And I almost had like a panic attack. And I came back home. I said to my manager, I am not flying again for a while. Please, I'm not doing that. And, I'm just not doing that. If you need to fire me, if you need to replace me, go ahead. Yeah. Thanks, Bongani. Have a great day.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. I'm a fitness instructor, so you can just imagine how physically demanding that is. Every day. You gotta demonstrate, you gotta lift, you gotta unpack, you gotta pack the weights, the objects that you use for your workouts, materials. So yeah, you can just imagine. This is Happy Totetse from Swaneman.
Good morning, good people. Yeah, physically demanding part of my job is being on my feet all day as a chef. Hospitality is very strenuous on the body, especially the feet. Long hours, as we all know. Great. Have a good day. Bye.
Morning, Bongles and your team. Flores from a beautiful Western Cape. Bongi, me and you are almost the same age. I work with kids. Let me tell you, working with kids already says a lot. You need to be super fit. Explaining the type of games that we going to play today and actually demonstrating and competing with these kids. But I can safely say, I am up to standard. I am clocking 100 meters, 14.03. So yeah, I need to stay fit at all times. And yeah, I'm nearing my 6-0. Have a good job. Bye-bye.
Oh, golly, do you guys, do you actually get dressed for work? Or do you just get up in your pajamas and your flip-flops and pull in and then go shower when you get home? What's the story there? Or do you actually get showered and put your makeup on and shave? I'm curious. Or do you just look rubbish at the office?
You can tell us yourself. We're live every morning on our YouTube stream, so you can see what we look like. And often, we have important guests that come in, and then we sort of have to dress up, outdress our age at least, some of us. Amu's makeup is always on point, as the young kids say. Muteo's not so much. But no, we do. Of course, we dress up and shower. Can you imagine?
It would be so tiring showing up here without having had a shower. You wouldn't be awake.
We wouldn't be refreshed.
It's 7:02 breakfast, not 7:02 stinkfest.
Good morning, Bongani. I appreciate the feedback after the guest has left. Yeah, I did exactly what he was saying just before he came in again with that voice note where I selected the area. It showed in a map. They wanted to upload the ID. I did that. Selected the area, going to Google Map. I seen my area. Selected. It even tells me that I'm going to be voting in a tent, which is correct. There's no wall there. There's nothing. They will just gonna put in a tent. I even saw my house in that Google Map. It's so clear. So thank you. I appreciate that. It does work. At first, I've tried it, but after I've sent a voice note, I went back and tried it again according to what he was saying, and it did indeed, it did happen. I will help so many people as well to show them how it's done. Sindile.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at 19 after 8, the CWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. Delays on the M1 South. Amu?
Yeah, that's correct, Bongani. Peak time delays here between the Baku interchange and Grayston Drive. There's also a bit of a hold-up reported just as you approach Corlett Drive exit. And then traveling on the opposite side of this route out of Melrose, do you expect delays on the M1 North between Corlett Drive and Grayston Drive? There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South towards Fourways coming out of Rivonia Road. That's due to peak time delays there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
20 minutes watching DIY hacks goes by quickly, but 20 minutes stuck in traffic, well, that feels like forever. Fortunately, the Outsurance pointsmen are here to save the day. Heroes in green and purple who've been easing traffic congestion for the past 20 years. The Outsurance pointsmen helping everyone get to where they need to be quickly and safely. Just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag pointsmanlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Strong communities are built on a strong local government. Every day, municipalities work to deliver the essential services that improve lives and support thriving communities across South Africa. As the voice of local government, SALGA represents, supports and empowers municipalities to build capable institutions, promote good governance and advance effective service delivery. SALGA, inspiring service delivery.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
Some parcels are more than parcels. They're gifts, opportunities, supplies, and moments people are counting on. That's why CourierIt makes it easy to book, send, and track your parcel online, moving it from your door to anywhere nationwide. And with 2,700 pickup points, sending has never been more convenient. With real-time visibility, reliable delivery, and people who care, we help you deliver what matters. Move it with CourierIt, because your parcel deserves more. Sign up on courierit.co.za.
Tabo's got 6 buckies running around fixing pipes, chasing invoices from Sentin to Soweto. They don't rest. But when one gets messed up in traffic, yo! That's not a scratch, my guy. No bucky, no money. But with Budget's affordable business insurance, Tabo's fleet is sorted. So when expensive days happen, his hustle keeps rolling. Visit budgetinsurance.co.za for a business insurance quote today. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Right, let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, we thought we might be really over all of this, but I'm afraid that war between Iran and the US, it's now intensifying.
It is, and widening, I would suggest. So we are day 153 of this war. President Trump said there was going to be a big attack. He said we're going to hit Iran very hard, and indeed overnight the US military says it has hit Iran very hard. So again, targeting some of their military bases and other sites. You wonder what's left, for goodness sake. But anyway, they've hit them again. But at the same time, this is in retaliation in theory for Iranian attacks on ships in the Strait of Hormuz and also on US facilities in Jordan. But we also know, according to local reports, because basically there was an explosion in the Egyptian port of Damietta. And according to local reports, it was an Iranian drone attack on a US-owned gas storage tanker in Damietta. So we're talking in the Mediterranean and mainland Africa, which suddenly puts other places altogether much closer to the war, like the Suez Canal and the Red Sea resorts and so forth, and the Red Sea generally. Plus, after being attacked from 3 sides, Saudi Arabia had enough and joined in with America in carrying out some airstrikes on Iranian proxy militias in Iraq. Did the Saudis strike again? I don't believe they did last night, but will they de-escalate or will there be more of a response? So the calculation is that this US-Israel war with Iran now includes the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, Lebanon, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and arguably Russia and Ukraine after that attack at the weekend in the Caspian Sea. This is not just US-Iran.
Gosh, and I mean, it doesn't appear we're going to see the end of this. And anyone involved in shipping, there'll be some real concerns now about a regional escalation. Adam, let's talk about robot wars in the US.
Different kind of escalation, this, because the Trump administration has announced they will ban foreign-made humanoid robot imports, so robots that look humanoid or are four-legged in some cases, the clever ones you always see on newsreels, because of, quote, unacceptable risks to US national security. Of course, America is competing with China over robotics and AI, and there are other countries too who are competing. So is this really about security, or is this about the risk to the US economy? Given that America's Federal Communications Commission has also banned imports of power inverters, the devices used in data centers in particular, and solar panels. Is this protectionism? Is this really national security? I know sometimes we think, oh, it's Chinese made. Will they be listening in? Well, there again, if it's American made, are we worried that they're listening in? The Chinese embassy in Washington, by the way, has objected to this particular ban, urging all countries to work together to develop AI for the positive and for the good. I inadvertently used a bit of AI myself yesterday, and artificial intelligence absolutely told me, in fact, it insisted that I didn't work for a radio station I used to work for, and that, in fact, it had no journalists or newsreaders ever work for it, ever at any stage. So that can be AI experience as well.
I mean, and what do you call a frozen robot, Adam? An iceborg. Now, tell me about the UK prison pudding protest.
Okay, so this is something that I can imagine a few of us getting a bit angsty about. So this is a notorious prisoner in the UK called Charles Bronson. It's his chosen name. He sort of models himself on the Hollywood actor. His real name is Charles Salvador. But anyway, Charles Bronson, he staged a protest at a maximum security prison because he was served apple crumble without custard. This is a guy originally jailed for armed robbery and assault. He's constantly attacked fellow prisoners and prison officers and doctors and visitors and you name it inside jail. He's held hostages when he staged 11 prison sieges. He's gone bananas before about jail conditions. He went weird once over eating too much porridge. On this occasion, when he got served apple crumb, can you imagine the prison officers going, hang on, we've forgotten the custard, step back. Charles Bronson had to be taken to his cell by officers in riot gear. In fact, you could argue he was taken into custody at that stage. I have to say, though, Bongani, a roast without gravy, apple crumble without custard, what is the point? I'm kind of with him there.
It sounds as tough as the Hollywood legend of a similar name. Adam Gilchrist. We'll leave it there for today's Worldview.
EWN Business.
All right, 27 after 8. Let's wrap up the morning's business news. Muteo, Woolies Food, that business part of the retailer, keeping things going well for Woolies.
Yeah, Woolies has released a trading update this morning for the year to June. The retail group says the second half of the financial year presented a more challenging period. Woolies says the war in the Middle East, driving fuel prices and inflation higher, dampened consumer confidence. Group turnover and concession sales for the period grew by 4.3%, with positive sales growth in all segments of the business for a full year basis. The food business continued to deliver above market turnover of 5.7%. Revenue through the Woolies on-demand service, Woolies Dash, grew by 19.6%, with the online channel contributing 7.3% to SA food sales. Woolworths South Africa delivered solid turnover and sales growth of 5.4% for the period.
Let's talk about platinum and AI.
Yeah, shares at platinum miner Valterra closed up more than 4% yesterday. The company expecting artificial intelligence and the data centers that come with it to boost demand for platinum group metals. The miner says there is a potential future PGM demand of 10 million ounces annually in industrial applications, jewelry, the growth of hydrogen as a clean energy source, as well as supporting AI technologies. The world's top platinum producer by value reported headline earnings per share of 82 Rand and 2 cents for the 6 months to June, driven up by an 85% surge in metal prices and as well as an 18% increase in sales volumes.
Not such good news for Meta.
No, not great news for Meta. The much awaited results are disappointing. Yesterday, Meta Platforms losing out about 7% after issuing a soft revenue forecast. Microsoft, on the other hand, impressing the market, jumping 8% through its AI businesses, Azure. The results underscored a widening divergence in how big tech's AI strategies are playing out on the market. On the New York Stock Exchange, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropping by more than 1,000 points. The tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite also fell 1.7%. Things weren't any different in Asia this morning. Japan's Nikkei up 0.5%. That was the good story to tell. While the Topix was down 0.5%, the Kospi losing out by close to 1%, while Australia's benchmark S&P ASX 200 was also lower. The JSE yesterday closing quite positive, up more than 500 points. A good day for Tungela. They were up 4.8%. Valterra up more than 4%. Naspers, the JSE darling, up 3.9%. While Sasol also enjoyed some gains yesterday. The rand at this hour, 16 Rand 68 against the US dollar, 19.09 against the euro. And you'll need 22 Rand and 26 cents to get a British pound. Price of gold is down more than 0.5% at $4,036 an ounce, while platinum is down close to 2% at $1,585. Brent crude climbing this morning, up 2% at $92 a barrel. More business from Stephen Grootes later this afternoon.
All right, let's go straight to the news desk. And Swisa Zulu, what do you have at this hour as we look forward to a conversation with the singer-songwriter, producer, Male?
Well, Bongani, good morning. The chairperson of the Communications Portfolio Committee says the AI industry can't be left unchecked and Parliament must facilitate the creation of new laws. Kusela Sangoni Diko also says the state and the private sector should work closely together in developing AI in the public interest. Sangoni Diko was giving a keynote address at the AI Governance and Policy Symposium yesterday. Babalondenze has more.
Kusela Sangoni Diko says allowing AI innovation to thrive without any policy measures in place to guard against abuse is not the solution. She says algorithms are already influencing the way people make decisions, and this could have a far-reaching effect. Sangoni Diko says South Africa must keep up with the times and put in place legislation to regulate the sector.
By adopting best global practice. For example, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association has made effective scrutiny of AI policy a key priority of parliaments worldwide. This is the correct approach. We cannot leave governance of AI to technology industry alone, nor to the executive branch unchecked.
Sangoni Diko says regulations can also protect the property rights of innovators and artists who are at the mercy of an unregulated environment. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
Lawyers for the DA have argued that the Tshwane Council Speaker has failed to give a legal basis for a controversial resolution that is now being challenged in court. The DA's urgent bid was heard in the Pretoria High Court yesterday, where a resolution to place City Manager Johan Mittler on precautionary suspension was challenged. The vote was taken during a sitting earlier this month where 12 DA and 1 Freedom Front Plus councillor were on a leave of absence, but 9 other DA councillors ended up attending. Khomuzo Modise has more.
At the heart of the DA's bid is whether the decision by Tshwane Speaker Mncedi Nzwanana to disregard the votes of the councillors who were said to be on leave but ended up voting is lawful. Yesterday, the lawyer for council and the Speaker spent most of his time arguing that the matter lacks urgency and gave a limited address on the lawfulness of Nzwanana's decision. The DA's lawyer, Advocate Nick Ferreira.
And the reason why he had to do that is because, with the greatest respect to him, he does not have any meaningful answer on the legality of the Speaker's decision to deduct the 13 votes.
The court must now make a decision on whether the matter meets the requirements on urgency, and if so, whether the Council's resolution was lawful. Judgment will be handed down tomorrow. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
A new chapter in policing is set to begin in the Western Cape as Sizakele Jantyi prepares to take over as the province's police commissioner. He succeeds Tembisile Pategile, who retired last month. Jantyi, with more than 34 years of experience in the police force, officially starts working this coming weekend. He takes over at a time when the province continues to grapple with gang violence, extortion and other forms of organized crime. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Speaking after his appointment in Cape Town yesterday, Lieutenant General Sizakele Jantyi said tackling these crimes will require stronger partnerships between police and communities. He said the SAPS will soon unveil its implementation plan under the Police Reset Agenda, which includes strengthening leadership at 140 high-crime police stations and rolling out a national organized crime strategy. But Jantyi stressed that rebuilding public trust will be critical to the success of these interventions.
Because these issues are happening within the community. There are people within the community that witness these activities taking place.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And 7 people have been killed in a helicopter crash in Argentina. Emergency services say the firefighting chopper crashed in western San Juan province yesterday. The Bell 412 aircraft had been training before heading to a neighboring province to help put out days-long fires when it came down. The people who died include firefighters, police officers and civil protection personnel. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 23 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 South between the Baku interchange and Grayston Drive. There's also queuing traffic reported along the M1 North just as you approach the Grayston Drive off-ramp.
The top story, the Sawa, Kusela Sangoni Diko says the AI industry can't be left unchecked and Parliament must facilitate the creation of new laws.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
Explain the PFMA to us and where it works.
The PFMA is meant to enhance the responsible and accountable management of public money, and also in principle for punishing the misuse of such public money and also abuse of power. It regulates financial management in national and provincial governments are managed efficiently and effectively so that the public gets their money's worth.
Janine Erasmus, spokesperson for Corruption Watch.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
That's Liesel, before she got naked. Liesel checked her insurance premium and got angrier than the time a teenager called her Tani. So Liesel got naked and got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds, all on the Naked app. There we go, Liesel. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Center becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
Strong communities are built on a strong local government. Every day, municipalities work to deliver the essential services that improve lives and support thriving communities across South Africa. As the voice of local government, SALGA represents, supports and empowers municipalities to build capable institutions, promote good governance and advance effective service delivery. SALGA, inspiring service delivery.
The Johannesburg Philharmonic's early spring season features world-class international conductors and soloists performing with our finest musicians. The program includes favorites by Tchaikovsky, Mozart and more. Thursday evenings at the Linda Auditorium from 13 August to 3 September at 7:30 p.m. Tickets available at Quicket.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey Bongani, hey, the most physically demanding part of my job is when it's time to report. Hey, you're gonna be staying up till midnight and waking up at 7 in the morning for a good 2 weeks. Sometimes if things go horribly wrong, you could go a full month just doing that and work on weekends. Let's not forget.
Morning, Bongani. The most demanding part of my job is when you get to someone when you're about to pick them up and they've got suitcases and they don't warn you that they're carrying bricks in those suitcases and that it's heavy. And they just push it to your boot and leave it there. And, you know, they don't even ask. They just leave it there and like, okay, now it's your problem. You got to pick it up. And then when you try to pick that thing up, it is heavy.
Hi, Bongani and the team. So I'm an occupational therapist by profession. And I remember when I used to work in adult neuro rehab, one of the most difficult things that we had to do was having to do transferring patients from wheelchairs to their beds, from the bed back to the wheelchair, and sometimes from the wheelchair into the shower and then back. It was such a difficult thing to do. Obviously, you have techniques on how to do transfer safely, but some of the patients were very heavy and most of the times you'd have to do the transfers on your own.
Hi, Bongani. Speaking of people who have to stay awake for their jobs or get up early, I'm thinking of all the nurses and the carers who work in hospitals or in old age homes, retirement communities, and who have to look after people all night. That must be really hard. So a shout out to all of those people who give us their nights and who, in a sense, give us their sleeping time. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really great way to end it. That's such a really great way to end it. We're talking about the most physically demanding aspect of your job. It all stems, of course, from this viral video of an officer chasing down a suspect and does so whilst carrying this massive rifle, but he's fit enough to do it, and it looks like he apprehends the suspect. And I just wondered, what's the most physically demanding aspect of your job? Let us know.
EWN Sport.
I think Cindy will be part of our consensus as a team. It's the waking up.
Oh.
And Amos says you get used to it. And I'm like, no.
No, you don't.
This is my 9th year of doing this, and your body just doesn't get used to it.
I get asked 2 things every single time I meet people for the first time. A few things, but these are the top 2.
Yeah.
One is, how do you wake up so early every day? Right? And everybody always like, oh, shame, but you woke up so early, etc., etc. And especially in winter, it is so difficult. And I've been doing it for 14 years now, breakfast radio, and it is exhausting and you don't get used to it. The second question I always get asked is, how do you bounce between 947 and 702 in the morning? And I think that's quite physically demanding.
Yeah.
Because what people don't realize is, though the 2 radio stations are side by side in the building, my desk is on the 1st floor. So I go up and down between the 2 in between bulletins. And that, I would say, is the most physical demanding, but it's keeping me young and fit.
And not to turn this into the interview
yes,
of Cindy
please
Paluta.
Tell me. I don't mind. I've got 18 minutes.
I don't.
Also, I know your story, Cindy.
How different are the bulletins? I mean, because I would imagine it's not just copy and paste.
Yeah, so completely different, because my roles are 2 completely different roles. So on 947, it's literally a bulletin at the top of the hour that's not allowed to be more than 2 minutes. And this is where I enjoy doing the sport bulletin, because you and I engage and we get to chat and we get to unpack it and what happened in sport. And then I get to really be like, get excited.
Be the sports fundi that you actually are.
What I'm actually paid to do, and not the tap dancing clown on the other side.
No time like the present. Let's talk about the Commonwealth Games.
Well, Team South Africa now with 22 medals at the Commonwealth Games after our swimmers bagged 6 more, including gold for Peter Kutz in the 100-meter backstroke and gold for Paralympian Christian Sadi in the S7 50-meter free. Kayleen Corbett won silver in the 200-meter breaststroke, bronze for Rod van Rennen in the 100-meter back, as well as bronze for both the women's and men's 100-meter medley teams. In that team was Chad Leclos, who is now officially the most decorated athlete in Commonwealth Games history.
Look, I was nervous tonight. I think everyone felt a little bit nervous because I think they also kind of knew what was on the stakes. I appreciate them swimming for me, if I could say that. I know they did it last night for me. And before we walked out, they said that they're going to swim for me. So, I got a little emotional walking out there. I was like, damn, these boys it means everything. I think whether we got 4th or 5th tonight, it didn't matter. The boys gave their all. Seriously, I can't ask for any more.
Tonight in netball, Spa Proteas have to beat England at 10 to make the semi-final. Last night they lost to world number 1 Australia by 10. On the athletics track, Aiden Smith in the shot put final from 8 p.m. tonight. Taylor Kavanagh runs in the 5,000 metre final and Marion Foree in the 100 metre hurdles final. A cute story from the Australian swimming team as 22-year-old Kai Taylor won the 200 metre freestyle. That's the exact same event his mother Hayley Lewis won at the 1990 Commonwealth Games. Isn't that just so cute? Like, as parents, we're like, I hope they like the stuff I like, but they're their own individuals. And he literally goes and wins the exact same race she won. At WAFCON, Banyana have a must-win battle against Ivory Coast tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. After losing their opener, Linda Morglalo believes they'll bounce back.
As players, we understand that this is football and sometimes things won't go away. But I think the biggest thing is to dig deep. And it's a tournament. It's a long tournament. There's a lot of games that are going to be played, so for us is to dig deep and take one game at a time.
Last night, Ghana beat the debutants Cape Verde 2-0, Cameroon beat Mali 2-1, and FIFA has opened disciplinary proceedings officially against Argentina's players Naul Molina and Leandro Paredes, as well as the team assistant coach Roberto Ayala for alleged assault against Spanish players after the World Cup final. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
When Joburg came together in the iconic CBD for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, unforgettable moments were made, and none of it would have been possible without our incredible partners.
This is Upusha Zasmia, and I'm the presenter for 702 Sofa Sunday. Today was an incredible day. We walked, many of us walked 8 kilometers. I know some of you walked 5, some 15, and it was a very special day, and I can imagine for everybody. Lots of sightseeing. I think for me, it must be walking through Marshalltown towards Risick Street. I think I've never walked in that direction before. So I think for me, that has to be my highlight. So thank you so much for being part of this momentous event. This year's Walk the Talk has to be the biggest one yet, and I think next year will be even bigger.
Thank you to all our partners who showed that great things happen when Joburg comes together for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
Dad, how come Mom's not coming to my soccer game?
Well, Mom isn't allowed to come to your soccer games anymore.
Is it because she tried to tackle Coach KB for giving me a red card?
Maybe.
Humans who fiercely protect the people they love. Welcome. Search Liberty Protect to protect your life and legacy today. Liberty, in it with you, all of you. Liberty Group Limited, a licensed life insurer, an authorized FSP and part of the Standard Bank Group. T's and C's, risks and limitations apply.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
EWN Traffic.
13 minutes before 9 o'clock. Amo, let's wrap up the morning's traffic.
Well, Bongani, we've got delays on the Marquand North between Boyson's Road and the Crown Interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between the Elan Turnoff and Van Buren Road. While heading towards Sunninghill, do expect delays along the N1 North coming out of Winnie Mandela Drive. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N1 South. This is between Annandale Road and the Baku Interchange due to an accident scene. We'll have more updates right at the top of the hour.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Pedestrians, winter days are shorter. That means more walking in the dark. If drivers can't see you, your life is at risk. Wear bright or reflective clothing Add reflective strips to your school bag and use a flashlight when walking at night. Walk in groups where possible. Being visible is not just a choice, it's your protection. Be bright, save your life this winter. This message is brought to you by the National Department of Transport.
That's Sia, before he got naked. Sia had a bumper bash and had to reattach his fender using duct tape and a prayer. So Sia got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now submit claims instantly on the Naked app. No more arts and crafts for you, Sia. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za. Because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
The man of the moment, the man of the hour, Clementizer.
Good morning.
How is the show looking this morning, Clementizer?
Here's how the show looks. What do you think Julius Malema is going to say at 12 when he addresses the media?
He's been quiet for a while.
For a very long while.
That's what I said on Monday. I said it's been very quiet there by Gandhi Square.
Well, he's going to speak at 12. And, I mean, there's no doubt he has to address the questions about his relationship with Khan. Knowing what we know now about him, how far did it go? And he must tell us how close they were, because WhatsApp messages suggest he was even sending questions to him via Saeed, the third party. But also he must be able to come and tell us this, shall we call it the sympathy he had for Andrea Johnson. Remember, he called him, you must not be intimidated. Nobody, you are Mama Winnie multiplied. So what's he going to say now, seeing what we have seen with Andrea Johnson? So that's what we're going to look ahead of on the show today, and also reflect on just what transpired yesterday at the Madlanga Commission, with Andrea Johnson completing her testimony. At 10 o'clock, we are going to do our Hanging Out feature. And today we're hanging out with award-winning businesswoman and author Amanda Dambuza. And then at 11 o'clock, we do our Thursday dialogue. Today we're going to be asking, should the World Cup have private investors? Gianni Infantino has plans to sell about 20% stake of the World Cup. What would that mean for the tournament?
Well, also, I think you've got to talk about how ultimately, whenever they do these things, who pays for it? Ultimately, it's the fans. It's the fans, whether it's through tickets at the stadia or through the conversation we were having yesterday on the show, pay TV channels, right? The right to view the games. It's the fans, right?
Yeah. So how are they going to structure it differently now? Well, Donald Trump's son-in-law's brother is involved, so that should tell you a lot.
Everything you need to know. Clement Manyatela between 9 and 12.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
In the 1960s, Douglas Engelbart had a thought. What if you could jump from one idea to another with just a click? That question led him to pioneer how hypertext would work. And this laid the foundation of how we navigate the internet today. See, whether you're reinventing the future or building something new, you need the right foundations to start. At Ex-Nilo, we give you the right foundation to host your big idea. Ex-Nilo, trusted in hosting.
Smart business decisions save money. Switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's JC from Blonde Hair Studio.
I was with my previous insurer for many years before switching over to OUTsurance Business Insurance. I'm really happy with the premium I'm paying now, and switching was definitely one of the best decisions for my business.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Ever listen to an artist and music and your soul is at home? That's what Malay has been doing for more than a decade, weaving soul, Afro jazz, African folk, and recently even a bit of gospel into music that makes you feel your heart, your mind, and your spirit is at home. It isn't just a performance, it's a conversation with your very innermost being. Oh man. Malay is going to be live at the Josie Gold Brewing Company and joins us now on the line. Malay, you are just such a firm favorite for so many fans, and you're returning to the stage for an intimate performance at the Josie Gold Brewing Company in Bromfontein. It's a venue that's fast becoming one of the newest homes in the city for live music and jazz.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much for having me, Bongani. Really lovely to chat to you this morning. Very excited about the upcoming show at Josie Gold. Yeah, and I think it's one of those venues that we need, more of this kind of platform and space for artists like myself who love engaging and really being intimate, like you've put it, with an audience. And I think Josie Gold absolutely offers that.
More and more of these jazz venues, please. I said in my introduction that your music, your music feels like home. It feels like a conversation. It feels spirit to spirit, soul to soul. I mean, I know we throw those phrases around quite easily, but you really embody that.
Gosh, I thank you so much for using the word home, because I think that's how I feel about particularly this album. I feel for the first time really in my career at a place where I feel like I'm most at home. Just even in terms of myself as an artist, my how I've come to reflect on life, and really coming to a place where I'm comfortable with who I am as an artist and as a person. And so the music reflects that. And I think people have just been so kind and so warm and really open to this gospel-inspired album, Ditapelo, and the response has been incredible. So I love that you say home, because that's the feeling that I wanted us to have sitting in the music.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, because one thing I like about you, you're not an artist who chases trends. We see rewarding, I suppose, of viral moments. For artists, you have stayed true to your sound. But also, I think one of the things that's powerful about your music is that as a listener, I find my own story, and sometimes I don't even know if that's what you intended as you wrote the song or at least recorded it, but it feels that it's a shared artistry.
Well, I'll tell you what, all of us, I think for me, the truth is that we're all sharing the same experiences, perhaps at different times, at different moments, but the seasons are up and down for everybody. And so I personally have always written from a very personal place. I'm oftentimes counseling myself when I'm writing these songs, and then it's very interesting that when they go out, you find that it's ministry to other people. And so everyone is going through the journey of life, and it's a beautiful story that's unfolding for all of us. And it comes with its disappointments and its hurts. And so I write to that, those experiences that I'm facing, knowing other people's experiences that are close to me that they're facing. I try to put those very personal stories into the music as best as I can.
Sorry to interrupt you there. One of the things we love doing is we love getting to know our guests, perhaps in ways that are different from the usual. So we've got this rapid fire questions that we want to throw at you. You've got to answer as quickly as you can the first thing that comes to mind. And let's try and see how many of these we can get through. All right, here we go. Gospel or R&B soul?
Oh, Lord, why would we do that?
As quickly as you can. Come on, gospel or R&B soul?
It's gospel today for me, for sure. All the time.
Prayer or meditation?
Are they not one and the same prayer?
All right, here's one. Joburg or Maseru? And
it's home sweet home, my brother. What can we do?
All right, here we go. Pineapple on pizza. Is that a crime or pure genius?
It's the most amazing idea that ever crossed whoever decided that that's what it should be. I'm a Hawaiian girl all the time.
I don't know if I like him anymore. All right, if you could delete one app from everyone's phone, which one would it be?
Oh, wow. That's hard. For young people, I would start with TikTok. And I know now that's not a popular thing to say, but I never understood it when it first came out, and I still kind of don't sometimes.
All right. What's something you believed in at the age of 10 that you don't believe in now?
At 10...
The Tooth Fairy, maybe?
The Tooth Fairy.
Father Christmas?
Father Christmas. I believed I would live in America, but I don't think that's ever a thing that I want for myself anymore. That was one of the biggest dreams that I had, and I don't believe that's going on. That's not going to be a thing again.
Listen, we want you to stay right here in this part of the world. Malay is going to be on at the Josie Gold Brewing Company. It's happening this Saturday, the 1st of August. You can get your tickets at Quicket. It's at DeCourcy Street in Braamfontein. No under 18s, and it's going to be an intimate evening with one of the best who are doing it right now. Malay, appreciate your time. Singer, songwriter, performer. Go see her this Saturday.
Thank you.
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
Our time's up. Before Clement takes us to the Madlanga Commission, it's 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A new witness is expected to testify at the Madlanga Commission this morning as the inquiry continues to examine questionable cases investigated and prosecuted by the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption. The unit's former head, Andrea Johnson, concluded